getting some good footage of that and not getting in any fights. Hopefully with the whole quarantine thing that kind of, I guess, discourages parents from going back and forth at the Little League baseball games. I know how it gets. I played Little League myself. Thankfully, my parents were always calm and collected, and cooler heads did prevail. But I get it's out there, man. We see it all the time. It's who knows, man? Maybe we'll see Brent Martineau trending on Twitter in a Rex Chapman video where him and some other parent go at it. That'd be pretty entertaining. That would help the brand out a little bit. And if he could wear the ESPN690 shirt, even better. But like I said, I'm Austin Lane here. I'm here for the next 2 days live. And then we're going to take a little hiatus, going to go on a little break. It is the summer break after all, 4th of July coming up. Needless to say, I don't have 2 feet in the parking lot just yet. I just have 1 foot right now. It's kind of like the last week of school, so I'm just going with the flow. I'm still doing my homework, but am I exerting as much effort as I should be? If my bosses are listening, absolutely. If they're not, then I think you know what it is. But interesting week, I guess weekend, the past couple days in sports. We're going to obviously tackle it today. And listen, man, before we get into sports, though, Cruz, I need to address something with you real quick because you apparently have us in a game show coming up here, or at least we're on the radar of a game show, which I didn't sign up for, which I didn't even
put actually going to take off.
Which I didn't even put my 2 cents in. You know, I mean, I have a brand, you have a brand, Brent has a brand, and I try to do my best to protect that brand. Lo and behold, my surprise, when I go on Twitter Saturday and I see that we're trying to get signed up here for, and correct me if the name is wrong, The Floor is Hot Lava
The
on
Floor
Netflix?
is Lava, yeah.
Okay, the Floor is Lava on Netflix. What's going on, man?
$10,000, dude.
How do we get pegged into doing this, though?
Well, I put out so I was watching it, and I'm like, this is hilarious. Like, what they're trying to do. It's essentially just the kid game that you played growing up where you tried to get across the room without touching the floor.
Yep.
And so I'm like, oh, this would be really funny. And it's teams of 3. So I was like, oh, my gosh, there's 3 of us on ESPN690. We should do this. So I put out a tweet, and Rutledge Wood hosts it.
No idea who that is.
I believe he was in Top Gun. But I didn't know either.
Oh, okay. Okay. Now, now you have my attention. Go on.
I believe Rutledge Wood and Submarine Mike actually tweeted me. I guess he's met Rutledge Wood. Said he's a really nice guy.
Cool.
He's actually really funny in the Netflix show that I was watching. So,
okay, well, Kuz, he's an auto racing analyst, so I'm not sure if he's been in Top Gun as. Yeah, just keep going though.
Okay.
I don't think he's in Top Gun.
I don't know where I got the
Top Gear.
Top Gear.
Dude, don't tell me the guys with Tom Cruise and Top Gun and then bring it down to Top Gear.
They're essentially the same.
There's a difference.
They're essentially the same.
Kenny Loggins sings Danger Zone in one of them. The other one is a not bad TV show, but it was a lot better when it was in England. No offense to Rutledge Wood here.
Well, so I put that out there, and then I thought that was it, right? Like, I thought that was going to happen, and then you and Brent would have a joke about it, and we'd move on. Well, then Rutledge Wood, comments back and says, let's do it, and adds Netflix.
Get him on. Okay.
And then it really started, people started, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, Rutledge Wood, who, once again, off Top Gear, has a lot more followers than I do. Let's just say that, right? And he's asking Netflix now to get us on the show. That's awesome. My bone to pick with you, though, and first of all, let me start off by saying this. I've been playing The Floor is Hot Lava. Well, that's what I called it. I'm from Wisconsin. It's a little different, up there in the north.
But isn't that like a double,
a
double entendre? Is that hot lava? Like, lava is hot. It's not cold lava.
But is a lava lamp hot? Yeah, probably. I don't know.
Hot.
There's different types of lava, though.
That's fair.
Needless to say, I've been playing The Floor is Hot Lava now for the good part of my last 25 years.
Okay.
And when I say that, when I used to live in Wisconsin with my mom, we played hot lava all the time. We would set up stuff in the living room. I'd have to jump from it. I'd have to balance on her toes when she would walk. It's just, she games as a kid.
I got it.
Yeah, so you know what I'm talking about, right? So I'm not sure if that's where my great broad jump at the combine came from, but all I'm going to say is, in terms of this game show on Netflix, go ahead and call me the Barry Bonds right now. And no, I'm not taking PEDs either. Just call me the Barry Bonds, though. Kuz, how tall are you?
I am 6'2", I think.
I like it, okay? Obviously, you play basketball. You kind of have that basketball build. And with that being said, you have long arms. I think you can do great at this game. Now, you're dunking. I'm not sure what your vertical is.
Not happen. Hasn't happened yet.
I don't care, though, man, because
Dunking
you know what?
coming one day.
Just talking to you, getting your personality, I think you're competitive, number one, when you have to be, and number two, you're scrappy, man. And if we're going to go on this game show on Netflix, I need scrappiness.
What I've noticed, by the way, from the game show is a lot of people underestimate how slippery the surfaces they're about to jump to become, because I think whatever liquid that's actually there is very soapy.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of slipping
Yeah,
that goes on.
I'm sure it's like KY jelly, something like that. And don't worry, we can practice that. We can set up a mock course in the studio, and we'll be ready for that. But here's where I have an issue with you, man, okay? Am I mad that you signed us up for a game show on Netflix so we can win $10,000? No, because there's nothing wrong with a little extra change. Nothing wrong with getting the brand out there. Where my problem comes, though, is that you immediately thought that signing up Brett Martineau was going to be a good idea.
I thought on three, we're the three.
Here's the thing, though. I should really let Brett Martineau be here to defend himself, because I feel bad for talking behind his back. It's not really my style, but I'm just going to call it like I see it real quick in terms of this game. The game requires either a long jump, because I studied a little bit. I've been watching. The game requires either a long jump, it requires you to be tall, or it requires you to be crafty, okay? Now, Brett Martineau, crafty guy, don't get me wrong. But in terms of the broad jump, in terms of the reach, in terms of the length, listen, I don't want to throw names out here from the blast from the past, but a John Bachman, to me, sticks out as a guy who the floor is hot lava would have been nice. And then we had Marcel Robinson from Action Sports Jax reach out, and he wants on the team. Listen, there's a reason why I haven't raced Marcel Robinson in the 40-yard dash yet. All right,
yeah.
I'm trying to back that as long as possible, because I know what the guy brings to the table. Uber athlete, if you will, Marcel Robinson, flag football champion. And you can't take that away from him. So I think he'd be pretty good as well. My biggest thing, though, is I feel like our team's going to only be as strong as our weakest link. Okay, so you signed us up for a game show. The floor is hot lava, or I'm sorry, the floor is lava, and we don't know what Brett Martineau is bringing to the table. I'm going to need to see a broad jump from Brett Martineau before I can okay him on our team.
So I will say, from watching the show, I think the jumps that you have to do are about 4 feet and 5 feet, and then there's the stairs at the end of the level, right?
Yeah.
You have a certain amount of time; those stairs sink.
Yeah.
So if you don't get to the end by a certain amount of time, the jump goes from like a 4-foot jump to like a 7.
Okay.
So that's the part that will actually. But even I don't know, 7 foot like. If I were approaching that right now, I'd be like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to make this.
Sure,
you know?
Sure. And listen, and I hope people out there right now are doubting me in this game, okay? Because if you expect me to go on this game show and try to embarrass myself on Netflix, you got another thing coming.
There were two guys, two separate episodes, but they had a guy who was a basketball player for a college, like still was.
D1, D2, D3, community college?
I don't remember.
See, I mean, if you're going to get us on the show, you got to do some research.
Right, and then there was another guy who was a gymnast. Who
athletic?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Most athletic guys out there.
Both those teams won.
They won. Okay, good.
Yeah. So
good,
when I saw that,
good.
I was like, oh, we're sitting pretty.
Well, and keep in mind, gymnasts are pretty short, usually on the shorter side. I don't want to discriminate, but you know what I'm saying.
No, but he did well actually in both those situations. The problem is there's always one person on the team that goes rogue and does their own thing instead of
course.
Like there's buttons and stuff that you have to hit, and so that could be a problem that happens.
Yeah, and to kind of set the scene for people who haven't really seen the show or don't know what we're talking about here, it's kind of like American Ninja Warrior without the crazy stuff, right? Like all you have to do is jump kind of from spot to spot, or you have to climb on stuff. Sometimes your smarts can come into play where there's like secrets where you can press a button and a ramp comes down. So it's almost like, it's kind of like being, like those rooms where you got to get out in a certain amount of time. What do you call it?
Escape room.
So it's part escape room, part Ninja Warrior, part just kind of like American Gladiators, I would say, right? And once again, I'm not going on there to lose. Now, I'm not sure when they're going to reshoot the show and everything. I'm not sure we can actually go on there. But
I'm waiting for an email.
The last person to doubt me in the broad jump, Avery Jones, by the way, still owes me some money, okay? Because I have that on film, and if you've been listening to the show at all for the past year and a half, everyone knows that Avery Jones owes me some money because I jumped 10 yards and 3 broad jumps, okay? And he still owes me that. So with that being said, Kuz, you just tell me when I need to be there, okay?
I'm waiting for Netflix to reach out. We've already planted the seed. We're just waiting for the reach out. This actually would be the second show that I've had Netflix reach out to me about being on. And the first one, I just didn't want to do the work that they told me I had to do to like submit.
What was the first show?
Nailed It?
No.
Okay, it's essentially they like make these really extravagant cakes or some kind of like snack food, and then you have to bake your version of it as close as possible. And obviously, like, they'll do it. It'll be like a volcano.
You don't bake, though, right?
No, not at all.
So what are we doing, though?
Well, because I tweeted that I thought the show was funny. And they were like, oh, you should come on.
Are they that desperate right now?
It was when it first started. It was
so
3
now,
years ago at
So
this
I'm sure
point.
it's doing pretty well.
It's
still
got
on
like
Netflix.
5 seasons. It's around. Yeah.
Okay, right on. Well, then if we can also get Netflix to run my documentary that I'm trying to push too for the softball's a cult,
See,
that would be fantastic.
That's what I'm saying. While we're there, you can just find who the higher up is.
My
start
foot is in the
plugging.
door right now, man. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go on this game show, win the 10 G's. My share is going to help fund my softball cult movie, the documentary. Still working on a title right now. I'm kind of between softball and American Cult or softball, the cult. Either one. Great name, great title, gets the audience's attention. So I can't wait to pitch that to Netflix as well, because I feel like as long as you have a blue check mark on Twitter, you're getting your own Netflix show.
I'm wondering how much their response was, because when I tagged you guys, both of you have a check mark.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking like Rutledge would saw that and was like, oh, these guys are like big time on social media.
He sees Brent Martineau with 20,000.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what? If half of those people can watch our show, the floor is lava, let's go ahead and have him on the show. So maybe we do need Brent Martineau.
Personally, I wanted to do like a Jacksonville radio episode. So it's like us 3 versus like, say, 3 people from WAPE, the other station I'm on, and then we'll pick another station, our news station, WOKV, do like a whole like,
Kuz,
keep it in-house.
Kuz, and once again, though, I'm a little insulted, right? Because I'm not losing this game. Okay, like, let's just throw that out there right now. I mean, if you want to save my audio so when we go on that game show, you can see it. I'm not losing, okay? My broad jump, way too good. My length, way too good. Now, my grip strength. If there's going to be a grip strength challenge, then we might have some issues. But I'll take care of it.
There's some monkey bar situations going on, I saw.
And I'm not too worried about it once again. Then I'll train that aspect of it. But I'm not going to lose, man. Okay, so whether we do it here or on that Netflix show, I'm not going to lose. And I'm sorry, okay? This is coming from, and listen, I don't sound cocky a lot. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. I don't know. But in terms of my broad jump, which is essentially what you need for this game show, check the numbers, Kuz. Check the combine numbers. Second best defensive lineman back in 2010. Okay? I think that was the best in the linebacking group as well.
I think when they introduce the groups, they have you brag about something. We can use that as a
combine. I'm not going to say anything. Just turn on the combine footage. Yeah, man. But yeah, so that was a great surprise over the weekend. Obviously, I hope everybody had a great Father's Day as well. Hopefully, you got what you wanted, or at least some peace and quiet in your ability to watch sports, if that's what you're into. Ended up going to the beach, did a little body surfing with my son, so that was fantastic for me. But really, kind of a weird weekend in sports, and there's some more actually transpiring right now as we speak at Talladega. We'll talk about that here during the next break. We'll start getting into that a little bit with, just obviously, I mean, it's news around the world right now, but a noose was essentially found in Bubba Wallace's garage. Now, Bubba Wallace didn't find it himself. One of his crew people did. But obviously, with everything going on right now, the Confederate flag being banned from NASCAR events, yesterday a plane at Talladega flies over with the Confederate flag on the back of it. So there's a lot to get into, and it's obviously transpiring because the race was canceled yesterday, right? Because there was a rain delay and everything like that. So the race is actually getting ready to get underway here probably in the next couple minutes or so. And what I'm seeing right now on Twitter and social media feeds is a pretty cool thing. So, Kuz, let's go ahead and cut to break real quick. We'll come back in here, get into Bubba Wallace a little bit, what's transpiring in Talladega, and go from there. But a really, really cool scene right now with what I'm seeing in terms of NASCAR and the other drivers as they get ready to start their race here in Talladega today.
Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Tracking mostly sunny skies this afternoon and hot temperatures as many will top out into the low to mid 90s, 94 for Jacksonville with an isolated afternoon shower and thunderstorm. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Alyssa Pedjig.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, with the guaranteed lowest diamond prices in North Florida. Beards Diamonds in the St. John's Town Center.
Okay, boss, here's the house. Been watching it all week.
And you're sure it only has a big blue alarm system?
Yep, that means we should have all the time we need.
Yeah, Still can't believe Big Blue Alarm is allowing their employees to monitor alarm systems while they're working from home.
Yeah, let's see, how many times do I get distracted when I'm at my house?
Right? Well, let's just hope the Big Blue operator monitoring this house just started binge-watching a TV show.
Meanwhile, right across the street, Safe Touch is still as steady as can be with the fastest guaranteed response time anywhere.
And that is why we're standing on the outside of the house with the Big Blue Alarm.
Just following the Crooks R Us motto, stay away from Safe Touch houses.
Yeah. All right, let's get busy.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Now more than ever, you need the open road. Windows down, wind in your hair, pure freedom. Then go see our friends over at Arlington Toyota, because their massive construction sale was made to put you behind the wheel today. Think you can't afford a new ride? Think again. At Arlington, you choose 0 down with low payments or no payments until 2021. Get to Arlington today where you can drive away in a Toyota RAV4 XLE for $285 a month with 0 down or no payments until 2021. That's a pre-owned RAV4 for $285 a month with 0 down or no payments till 2021. How about a Toyota Tacoma for $285 a month with 0 down or no payments until 2021? We're talking about a pre-owned Tacoma for $285 a month with 0 down or no payments till 2021. Plus, with Arlington's Credit for Everyone program, if your Beacon score is from 450 to 850, Arlington's getting almost everyone approved. And you get Arlington's 30-day exchange policy on any vehicle you purchase. As always, your safety is Arlington's priority. Go see them today, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit Arlington Toyota/June offers for full details.
They say it should be impossible for bumblebees to fly because their wings are too small for their bodies. But bumblebees don't care. They just fly. Bright Expectations is dedicated to helping our Florida residents with special needs and unique abilities find the resources, support, and inspiration that they and their families need to break barriers and achieve their dreams. Visit www.brightexpectations.com to start your journey today.
This message is sponsored by the Florida Department of Health, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
I'm Thea Jeffers, owner of Breezy Jazz Club and T-Works Interior Decorating. It doesn't matter where you come from, it's possible to own your own business. But starting a business isn't easy. The Jacksonville Women's Business Center helped give me the confidence to keep going when the going got tough. At JWBC, I got the training, networking, and support I needed to help me reach my goals. To find out more about how JWBC can help you, visit jaxwbc.com.
Response to Diamonds Direct's incredible free finance offer has been amazing. People are driving for hours to take advantage of 5 years zero-interest financing with nothing down. But listen, these are the final days. This aggressive offer ends on June 30th and will not be extended. So don't wait another minute. Get to Diamonds Direct now. Pick any item. Get the unbeatable price Diamonds Direct is known for. Pay nothing down and spread your payments over 5 years without paying a dime in interest. It's the smartest way to buy, and it makes everything more affordable. An $8,000 designer engagement ring is just $134 a month. You can even finance the sales tax. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, bands, colored gemstone jewelry, one-of-a-kind designer pieces. Everything's included. But there's one catch. This is a limited time offer and it ends Thursday, June 30th on approved credit. 5 years, zero interest, nothing down, nothing held back. Exclusively at Diamonds Direct.
If you have a specific medical problem, you call a specialist. Broken leg? Call an orthopedist. Cataracts? Call an ophthalmologist. At Prime Men's Medical Center, our doctors specialize in ED and PE. Listen to Dr. Rubinski, a renowned expert in men's health.
I'm Dr. Rubinski. If you're experiencing ED or PE, Prime Men's Medical Center has custom blended medications to help you last longer in the bedroom, regardless of age or past medical history, with no pain or surgery. In fact, you'll see results in the office guaranteed or your exam is free. Patients are now lasting for 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer. And best of all, treatments are affordable.
Men. If Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down, call Prime Men's Medical Center for a private consultation with our highly skilled physicians. Call 904-206-8105. 904-206-8105. 904-206-8105.
If you don't have Safe Touch monitoring, there's a good chance your system is getting monitored from someone's home. Yes, work from home has come to the security industry, but not at Safe Touch Security. At Safe Touch, That is totally unacceptable and doesn't meet UL requirements. At SafeTouch Security, our monitoring center is committed to maintaining our high standards. The only guaranteed response in the alarm industry with an incredible 8-second average. And our two-way communicator provides the very fastest response from the emergency authorities for burglary, medical, and fire. And the SafeTouch crash and smash technology detects crime before it enters the property. Our halo of protection and SafeTouch cameras report crime before it happens many times. And every SafeTouch security system is custom designed for you and comes with our exclusive SafeTouch parts and labor agreement at no charge. SafeTouch security systems have a guaranteed response and are installed by real professionals. Know you and your family are safe and protected the right way. Go to safetouch.com right now for more information. SafeTouch, doing what others can't for over 35 years. State license number EF0000233.
Do you hear something in the attic?
Where do you want to eat tonight?
Why won't the lights work?
Where should I take my car for engine work?
Do you think I need to get this spot checked out?
Where did these bugs come from?
When are we going to paint the house?
These and hundreds of other questions are still being asked daily. Will the answer be your business or your competitors? Don't leave it to chance. Let Cox Media Group Jacksonville make you the answer to their questions. Contact us at 245-8732 or email buildjax@cmg.com and let's build Jax.
Reliant Roofing, Solar, and Hurricane Shutters is pleased to announce its 4th annual Every Shingle Heart Initiative. This year, they will give a free roof to one healthcare worker or first responder in Northeast Florida, the individuals who've been making the ultimate sacrifice over the last several months during the COVID-19 pandemic. Reliant wants to return the favor to someone in these fields. To nominate someone, you can visit their website, reliantroofing.com/Every Shingle Heart. Nominations will open June 15th until July 31st. The recipient chosen will be announced on August 15th, 2020.
If you're usually listening to ESPN 690 in your car, but your boss has you working from home this week, well, take us with you. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin Lane from ESPN 690 and Action Sports Jax. Tell Amazon Echo or Google Home, play ESPN 690, and enjoy all that sweet listening coverage.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
It was definitely an eventful weekend of sports, and a majority of it probably comes from the negative light more than the positive light. I'll get into all that later, but probably the biggest story of the weekend that occurred on Sunday was, and I'm sure everyone has heard about it by now, but it was Bubba Wallace, the only black driver right now on the NASCAR circuit. One of his team members found a noose in his garage. And obviously Bubba Wallace has been the big advocate of getting rid of the Confederate flag at NASCAR events. And in doing so, he has earned the respect and earned the admiration and the help of a lot of NASCAR drivers past and present who also kind of share his same sentiments here. So, and listen, once again, it's crazy, Kuz, right? Because we shouldn't, I don't know. A part of me wants to say I'm not surprised because of just the times that we live in, okay? And then a part of me wants to just shake my head and go, what are we doing right now? What are we thinking? Listen, as far as the Confederate flag goes, I really don't care what your opinion is on it. Once again, I'm from Wisconsin. I grew up around it. I've been to NASCAR races as a kid. I know how it is. Am I a fan of it? No, because I don't have that Southern pride, right? I mean, I'm from the North. To me, the Confederate flag, it doesn't represent anything to me of pride and respect and just an honor to rock it. But once again, I'm from Wisconsin, man. And you know what? If you feel differently than me, that's okay, all right? I still got love for you. But what rubs me the wrong way is people that, and keep in mind right now, the way Talladega is with COVID-19, it's on lockdown. So the only people who had access to Bubba Wallace's garage are other competitors and other elite members, other prestigious members of the media or of NASCAR in general. So this wasn't a situation where just some random fan walks into Bubba Wallace's garage, puts a noose there, and thinks it's funny. That's not the case at all. Like, this happened in-house. And, I think in terms of NASCAR, obviously NASCAR, especially the drivers, they're predominantly white. And I don't think I'd be out of line to say, you know what, I'm sure their fan base, a majority of people are probably white. Not to say there's not black fans out there. There's fans of all color. But you know what I'm trying to get at right now. And it seems like when Bubba Wallace kind of came out and said, you know what, I don't agree with the Confederate flag, it should be taken down. Well, it was almost like a rallying cry to maybe get a new generation now of NASCAR fans. It was almost like a rallying cry where I saw professional athletes of every single sport all of a sudden rally behind Bubba Wallace and take note. People were talking about, hey, I'm going to go to a NASCAR event when COVID-19's over. Like there was actually an excitement. There was actually like just this new breath of fresh air that was kind of pumped into NASCAR. And let's be honest, NASCAR needs it. I don't have to tell you the numbers. Now, the numbers are good in Jacksonville and everything, but I'm talking about as a brand worldwide. It wasn't like when I was a kid, all right? You didn't have the Intimidator. You don't have Jeff Gordon anymore. You don't have these big-name drivers. It's not what it is. And you had a guy like Jimmy Johnson, who was arguably one of the best racers of all time, who didn't get his just due because whether his personality wasn't great enough or whatever the reason was. But I'm saying from the casual fan, NASCAR is probably the first thing that they're going to turn on. So I think with Bubba Wallace leading the initiative, all of a sudden you had a new fan base and you had more eyes watching it because it was a big deal. Once again, it wasn't about black or white. It was about right or wrong. So for his team to find the noose, man, it's absolutely insane. And once again, I don't follow NASCAR on a weekly basis. I don't watch it every single Sunday, but I'm keeping tabs on it now. It's opening the show. Yeah, it's opening the show for all the wrong reasons, but I'm going to get to some pretty decent reasons in a second of what's transpired over in Talladega the past 10 minutes. But before we do that, I want to go to Marty Smith a little bit. Marty Smith, obviously a big NASCAR advocate, and he's been a friend of the show. And the cool thing I like about Marty Smith, and I was honored to talk to him with Brent Martineau here when we were at the Florida-Georgia tailgating, and I forgot what day it was on, but it was my first interaction with Marty Smith. And the one thing about Marty Smith is that he doesn't apologize for who he is. Okay, he's always going to have that country twang. He's always going to be a huge supporter of NASCAR. But when something's not right, he's going to speak out against it, man. Okay? And I think of all people right now in terms of media or in terms of a platform, this is Marty Smith's moment because this is in Marty Smith's backyard. He's a huge fan of Talladega, number one. He's a huge fan of NASCAR, number two. He's been covering it forever. He knows everybody in those garages and everything. And to kind of hear him speak out a little bit and passionate, you could kind of tell the pain in his voice coming from, the whole Bubba Wallace situation. Kuz, you got the audio here?
Well, first of all, I feel like a fool because I just told you, Bud, not an hour ago, 90 minutes ago, that the sport had come so far, and then we see this. And I will tell you that I spoke to a senior NASCAR official just a few moments ago, and they reiterated that statement. They're going to find who this person is. They're going to eliminate this person from the sport forever because this sport is moving forward. This sport is in a progressive mode. This sport is in a moment where this crap, this despicable crap is not only not acceptable, but there's just no place for it. And whomever that is, I hope that you are so ashamed of yourself. I hope that you realize that that is someone's dignity and that is someone's positioning in this sport who has earned his place by talent and by hard work. And he stood up for something that he believed, and he asked for help from other people who believe similarly. And that the measures were taken to start taking those steps. And then we come down here to a place that I love. I love Talladega, Alabama. It's my favorite place on the NASCAR tour. It's my favorite race. I love the staff here. And then I'm about to say words I'm not allowed to say. Something like this happens in the garage area, in the garage area of Richard Petty's race car for a young man in Bubba Wallace who has galvanized so many people because he was willing to stand up for something that is so long overdue. and NASCAR's current management level, executive level, agrees that it was time to take this stand, and then somebody goes and does this, you're not just hurting one or two people, whomever you are. You're hurting a whole lot of people who have made the decision that it's damn sure time to go be better. And it pisses me the hell off. And it pisses everybody else in the sport off who care not only for Bubba, but for every single person that he is standing up for. And I am so sorry that we even have to have this discussion tonight.
That's ESPN's Marty Smith, friend of the show, very passionate, obviously. This happened in his backyard. This is his sport. And I think a sport that's made so much progress here in the past couple weeks or so kind of tarnished a little bit, over this incident. And, so bad to the case where, and like Marty said in that speech there, where it happened in Richard Petty's garage. Bubba Wallace is essentially driving Richard Petty's car. He's rocking his number and everything. And so bad that Richard Petty, who's 82 years old, and keep in mind what we're talking about right now in this climate, an 82-year-old guy took it upon himself to go to Talladega and to be in solidarity with Bubba Wallace. This guy shouldn't be out in public right now. Let's be honest here. Let's call it like we see it. And I get it. Hey, Richard Petty's a bad dude, man. It's probably going to take a lot more than COVID-19 to take that dude out. But you know what I'm saying here for the optics, right? And the cool thing that I want to talk about here that just kind of transpired the past 10 minutes or so is as Bubba Wallace was walking out of the garage and getting into his car, and keep in mind, they had to do a whole security check on his car because they were worried that somebody messed with his car. Someone cut the brake line, something like that. So NASCAR had to go above and beyond to make sure that his car was even cleared to drive, which is insane when you talk about how you're a black driver. There is a noose in your garage. Oh, and by the way, the following day now, you have to wake up and you have to go out and you have to drive a race car at 180 plus and try not to crash. With all that in your mind, what do you think is going through Bubba Wallace's head right now? With that being said, though, so Bubba Wallace, car gets checked, it clears. He gets in his car, and all of a sudden he's confronted by every single NASCAR driver and pit crew member. And they pushed him out of the garage into the starting spot, into the pole position. And then Bubba Wallace actually took a picture with all the drivers standing behind him in solidarity. If you haven't seen it, I encourage you guys to check it out right now. It's all over Twitter. It'll be all over Facebook, anywhere. But it's a very cool scene as every single driver is kind of taking their turn to push Bubba Wallace's car to the front. And that's the kind of unity, that's the kind of, togetherness that the sport of NASCAR needs right now. And you know what? And whoever it was that put the noose in Bubba Wallace's garage, whether it was an opponent, an opponent's pit crew, some random person who got through security, whoever it was, why? That's the biggest question to me is why. Listen, I love social media. I love Twitter. I think it's a great tool to learn information, to share stories. But I'm also a big guy when it comes to social media and the fact that sometimes we can say things and do things with no repercussions. And right now, and I understand there's a bunch of cameras there and everything, and the FBI is getting involved, and they're taking testimonies and all this stuff, and hopefully the perpetrator gets found out of who would be dumb enough to put the noose in the garage. But regardless of that, man, obviously this stems from some kind of anger, some type of hatred because of the Confederate flag. And if that's the case, I'm just going to say this, man. Whether it's the Confederate flag, whether it's a school song that might be getting shut down, whether it's taking a knee, if something offends you, then just don't watch it anymore. Just distance yourself from it, right? Where if a TV show says something that I don't agree with, if a celebrity says something that I don't agree with it, if a company says something that I don't agree with, then I'm not going to give my business anymore. You don't have to try to attack somebody and fight hate with hate. If you truly believe that Bubba Wallace is in the wrong and there should be a Confederate flag at a NASCAR track and for whatever reason you're ticked off about it, well, guess what? It's not changing, okay? The Confederate flags are banned. So whether that's right or that's wrong, however you feel about it, I'm telling you that's the way it is. And it's not going to change anytime soon. So if you have a problem with it, sure, you can be upset, but then just go away, man. You don't have to go above and beyond and try to put a noose in someone's garage. It's absolutely baffling to me. And like I said when I started the show today, it's frustrating because a part of me when I saw that on Sunday was like, oh, yeah, I'm sure that, but of course, that was coming. I shouldn't think like that, man. I shouldn't be that desensitized where I should think that a noose ending up in a black driver's garage after he tried to ban the Confederate flag should warrant that type of behavior. I shouldn't sit in my home on my couch thinking, yeah, sounds about right. But that's where we are, man. And it's not just in NASCAR. Listen, I've shared stories before with, when I was in Oakland and everything, some fans said something, and there was white fans, by the way, said something to Tyson Alualu, some derogatory racial comments. I try to hop the fence and, take care of it because Tyson Alualu was a great guy, and I always had my teammates' backs. And it got to the point where Mel Tucker said, hey, either you go up there and you're benched or you get back down, we play some football. Simple as that. And I think, stories are they're everywhere, man. You can go up to any black athlete, I'm sure he has some kind of story. Man, I'm reminded, I haven't shared this story before, too. I'm reminded of, and keep in mind, this is 2006. So call it what you want, 14 years ago. And maybe saying it out loud seems like a long time ago, but in the realm and the scheme of things, not really. And this is Central Wisconsin, by the way. I remember playing in a regional final in a basketball tournament, high school basketball. And we're playing in a city called Colby, which was predominantly white. Now, myself and there was another black guy by the name of Griff. We both started on the Iowa Scandinavia basketball team. And, obviously it was an intense game, the regional finals. It was the game to go to sectionals. You win sectionals, you go to state. So there's a lot on the line. And I remember playing at Colby. And I remember one of their players saying a racial slur to my teammate Griff. And then I remember some of the fans also taking part in that. And this is a small school, man. Like I said, this is Central Wisconsin. But I remember it was the first time and only time where I had to get police escorted out of the gym after the game because there was, quote unquote, a worry of the health of our players. We won the game. We're supposed to be celebrating with our fans and our parents and taking pictures of the trophy that we won. We couldn't even do that. We had to get police escorted out of the gym because people were afraid that somebody could get hurt because we had a couple black players on our team. That's just the world that we live in right now. So, listen, getting back to Bubba Wallace, though, I think it was a great show of class, of unity by the NASCAR drivers to support him. Hopefully the perpetrator gets found of whoever the idiot was that threw that noose in there. I hope Marty Smith keeps on using his platform and his voice because he's a big inspiration for me, not only because the guy is who he is, and that's kind of how I live my life in terms of sports radio as well, but also I don't want people to get the preconceived notion of NASCAR because I truly do think NASCAR is trying to make things better. I truly believe that NASCAR is trying to push the sport into a new era. And the last thing I want to see right now is this one incident, even though it's a big deal and it sucks, but I don't want to see this one incident tarnish everything that NASCAR and Bubba Wallace is trying to do right now.
Oye, amigo, it is the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
We've talked about this before. When a bank gives you $100,000 by mistake, do not go spend that money because you're going to get into a lot of trouble for it. But an Albuquerque teenager found $135,000 in cash next to an ATM. What would you do, Stugotz?
Finders keepers. The Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio and ESPN News.
Response to Diamonds Direct's incredible free finance offer has been amazing. People are driving for hours to take advantage of 5 years zero-interest financing with nothing down. But listen, these are the final days. This aggressive offer ends on June 30th and will not be extended. So don't wait another minute. Get to Diamonds Direct now. Pick any item. Get the unbeatable price Diamonds Direct is known for. Pay nothing down and spread your payments over 5 years without paying a dime in interest. It's the smartest way to buy, and it makes everything becoming more affordable. An $8,000 designer engagement ring is just $134 a month. You can even finance the sales tax. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, bands, colored gemstone jewelry, one-of-a-kind designer pieces. Everything's included. But there's one catch. This is a limited time offer and it ends Thursday, June 30th on approved credit. 5 years, 0 interest, nothing down, nothing held back. Exclusively at Diamonds Direct.
Oh, it's hot in Jacksonville. Summer is here. Hotter weather means your family should be drinking more water. Stay hydrated, but make sure you do it in a healthy way. Take care of your family by having clean, purified water. That's what we have in our house. With a Kinetico system from CGC Water, you can remove up to 99% of contaminants. And right now, you can get an incredible offer, a free A200 reverse osmosis drinking water system with the purchase of a Kinetico Premier Softener. Call CGC at 904-552-1242. CGC will test your tap water so you can better understand what's in your water. That's important. It's free, and there is no obligation to buy anything. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. And while you're on the website, CGC wants your help to recognize frontline workers. They've been doing a great job. Nominate a worker, and they might get a free RO system. cgcwater.com, serving Northeast Florida and Southeastern Georgia. CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Kinetico dealer.
The current coronavirus outbreak has caused difficulties for many of our area's small businesses. From losing customers to falling behind in payments, business owners need help. At SCORE, our highly trained counselors are here to help. In Jacksonville, SCORE provides services to almost 6,000 individuals annually. We are currently mentoring virtually and identifying possible financial assistance through the SBA and other resources. Visit jacksonville.score.org for links with more information.
We all know Beard's Diamonds has the best price and best selection, but the perks that come after the sale set Beard's Diamonds light years ahead of the competition. Beard's offers unprecedented lifetime warranty on all items, no matter the purchase price. 100% free. Ring sizing? Free. Rhodium plating? Free. Appraisal? Free. Stone replacement?
It's all free. When you choose Beard's, that makes us want to go over and beyond for you.
Beard's Diamonds in the St. John's Town Center or at beardsdiamonds.com.
Where is this water coming from?
Who will deliver us lunch?
Why is the air conditioner blowing hot air?
Where can I get a tire fixed?
Do you know someone who can get marker stains out of the carpet?
What do we need to do to get the pool ready?
These and hundreds of other questions are still being asked daily. Will the answer be your business or your competitors? Don't leave it to chance. Let Cox Media Group Jacksonville make you the answer to their questions. Contact us at 245-8732 or email buildjax@cmg.com and let's build Jax.
Sí, very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
Charles, good talking to you. Take care, buddy.
Hey, man, make sure you tell your sweet mother. I sent her a text yesterday for Mother's Day. That lady is a saint. Tell your fat daddy absolutely nothing.
Okay, thank you, Charles. I appreciate it.
The Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugatz on ESPN Radio and ESPN News.
Hey everybody, this is Brent Martineau. If you're usually listening to ESPN 690 in your car, we appreciate it. But your boss has you working from home this week, so take us with you. Your smart speaker brings ESPN 690 into your home office. Tell your Amazon Echo or Google Home to play ESPN 690.
Hi, I'm Ryan Murphy, Olympic gold medalist. You're watching Action Sports Jax.
As Marcus says, it would only take one kid getting COVID-19 and it wasn't worth it. Well, it only takes one kid having a catastrophic life-changing injury and you could argue the sport wasn't worth it. So I understand that the sport in and of itself comes with risk. But through the process and conversation of risk, kids should be allowed at least to have an understanding of the risk they're being asked to take, why they're being asked to take it, what the repercussions will be. I mean, at this point, we've seen enough on CTE that at least when you are a college athlete, you can make informed decisions about what you're comfortable with for your personal life. When it comes to the risk of injury in general in football, we've seen enough. We've read enough. There have been enough studies and specials. There's been enough conversation about it that these kids know the risk they're putting themselves into. With COVID-19, they don't.
ESPN's Jason Fitz. Hopefully we'll have him on the show tomorrow to catch up a little bit. But great points there, man. And once again, weird situation right now, right? Because I love to be the guy that comes in here after the weekend happy. I went to the beach. I saw the Ken Griffey Jr. documentary, which we'll talk about later. It was awesome. Spoiler alert. Couldn't get enough of it. Hey, Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire, step your games up. Ken Griffey Jr. dominated you in every single aspect. Hey, ESPN, step your game up. I know I work for you guys, but MLB Network really brought their big sticks to this one. But we'll get into that later. But I'll be honest, man. Hard to be positive right now in terms of the landscape of football. And I don't want to be the guy that comes on a radio show and, just spews negativity and being down in the dumps. But I am the guy on the radio show that's going to come in here and try to tell it like it is. Okay? That's not going to always be on the sunshine and rainbow bandwagon. I'm going to say where I'm coming from, my experiences of what I know and what I've heard. And right now, spoiler alert, it is not looking good for college football or the NFL in that standpoint. Okay? Because if we looked at what's transpired the past few days here in college football, well, Iowa has stopped selling tickets. Haven't really got an official word on that yet, but Iowa stopped selling tickets for their 2020 season. So that's one thing. Kansas State has shut down their entire stadium over 13 players getting COVID-19 in the past 2 days. So that's not good. LSU, the defending national champions, have 30 positive tests right now with 30 players that are getting quarantined. Not good, okay? Keep in mind where we're at right now. We're in the first couple weeks of summer workouts. We're not even in the season yet. And, Kuz, I'm going to be honest with you, man. I don't have a lot of regrets so far of what I've done on the show or the interviews that I've conducted, but I can sit here wholeheartedly right now and say my biggest regret so far in the show came when we had Dana White on. Now, the Dana White interview, it was fantastic. And I'm still new to this game. But one of the things I'm quickly starting to learn is sometimes you have these preconceived questions that you want to ask your guest, but sometimes it's better to just kind of go off what they say and ask questions off of that. And Dana White was very adamant. And at the time, I didn't think too much about it. I talked about it a little bit since, but I want to address it real quick before we get back to the landscape of football and all that stuff. When we had Dana White on the show, probably a month ago now, it was before the Jacksonville UFC, I think 249 card, we asked Dana about COVID-19. And you know who Dana White is, okay? If you know anything about mixed martial arts, if you know anything about fighting, or if you listen to that conversation on the show, Dana White tells it like it is. Dana White makes zero apologies for anything. He's his own man. He's a self-made man, and he doesn't take anybody's crap, just to say that, okay? When we asked him about COVID-19, his response to what he thought the landscape of sports would look like in the next couple months or so, I think was very telling. And at the time, I didn't notice it. But Dana White basically said, listen, there's not going to be baseball. There's not going to be football. And maybe not even basketball. There's not going to be any of that. But we're going to try to keep on throwing on fights. Now, if you don't believe me, go back and listen to the interview. He was very adamant about this. Now, at the time, was it Dana White just saying, well, yeah, there's not going to be any football, any baseball because he's trying to hype up the UFC? Why? UFCs are on Saturdays. You think Dana White really cares right now about how the NFL is going to do? You think Dana White really cares about how the NBA is going to do or how MLB is going to do or how NASCAR is going to do? No, man. Dana White's only concerned about one thing.
Well,
go ahead.
Would he care about how the NBA bubble works potentially so that with his Fight Island and stuff like that, maybe he could find some stuff out of that?
I'm glad you asked that question, Kuz, but here's the problem with that. And it's the same problem right now that's going on, with golf, where, and we'll get into that later too, but the PGA, they had a golfer that actually tested positive for COVID-19. To me, fighting and golf are different because you're not on a team. You're essentially a private contractor. So to put people in a bubble for an extended period of time, if you're a fighter, if you're a golfer, you can't do that because it's not a team thing. There's really no union. It's just you. You're your business. So you have a say whether you want to train over here, whether you want to golf over here, whether you want to go on vacation over here. You can do all that because you're a private contractor. You don't answer to any union. You don't answer to any team. So, Kuz, to answer your point, it's different like that, right? So, once again, that's kind of another reason why I found it peculiar that Dana White would say all this stuff about football and all that, And now listen, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I don't have time to be a conspiracy theorist. I don't have the energy during the day to be a conspiracy theorist. But keep in mind who Dana White is and when this interview came apart, where he was coming from. Dana White was the guy who sat in those meetings with doctors with Donald Trump. Dana White was the guy who met with Roger Goodell, who met with every single, owner and CEO of major companies in sports to try to hash out a plan for the months to come. So Dana White was in the most exclusive, most important meetings revolving COVID-19 and the future of sports. And then Dana White comes on our show and says he doesn't see football happening. He doesn't see sports happening. So how much of that is Dana White heard something in those meetings that kind of perked his interest a little bit of saying that, and how much of it is Dana White just saying, yeah, I'm going to cause some waves a little bit. UFC's #1. Forget all other sports. I don't think it's the latter, man. Okay, and Kuz, do you have the audio here where we can talk about it a little bit? I heard you playing the audio in the back. Oh, I thought you were playing the audio with Dana White there.
Oh, no, I'm trying to find it for you.
Okay, it's all good. So, once again, Dana White being privileged to all these meetings and everything, I wish somebody would ask him, and I regret myself for not doing it when I had the opportunity to. But I hope somebody asks Dana White, what makes you think there's not going to be a football season? What made you think there's not going to be an NBA season? I want to know, man, because once again, he's sat in all these important meetings, the meetings that we're not privileged to. We only get the cliff notes of those meetings, but he actually knows what goes on behind closed doors. So it's an interesting take here from Dana White. Anyways, getting back to football, though, with what's going on right now in the landscape. Obviously, schools, every single school, you got players that are getting quarantined. Okay, that's nothing new. NFL, there's been a couple players, tested positive for it, and now they're getting quarantined as well. The NFL recently just released, I guess, this manual, if you will, this 3-tier system of what they want teams to do and things like that, and I can only imagine what that thing looks like. If the NBA released a manual of 100 pages that said how the NBA bubble is going to work in Orlando, well, imagine what the NFL manual is going to look like. It's going to look like the last Harry Potter book, and go ahead and times that by 3. Kuz, is that a big book, the last Harry Potter book? Can you confirm how many pages was the last Harry Potter book? Over 1,000, I'm sure. So I'm sure we got over 1,000 pages right now of just rules and regulations that NFL teams have to follow. And I'm going to say good luck with that. Also keep in mind what's happening right now, too. We talked about it on Friday.
759 pages in the last Harry Potter book.
All right, thank you. Thank you for that.
That's what I had to do.
Go ahead and double that. Kuz is always doing his due diligence and his work here at ESPN690. I appreciate it. Also, keep in mind what's happening right now. We have players in UCLA that are worried that the COVID-19 situation and how Coach Chip Kelly and his associates are handling the situation. So much so that they've gone to the board and said, listen, we're not going to play until things get figured out at UCLA, okay? So that's happening right now. One could question, how do NFL players right now and other college football players feel with what's happening, okay? Where if school's going to be online for the next couple weeks, when school starts up and there's not going to be kids on campus, I mean, do you have a right to file a workers' comp and says, you know what? I don't feel safe here. I don't feel safe going in the weight room. I've had teammates that are sick. I don't feel safe going in an NFL meeting because my other teammates are sick. Will we start to see players do this now? And I don't think it's out of the realm of possibilities. Now, don't get me wrong, once again, and I've been very adamant about this. I'm not trying to get political. I'm not trying to be this conspiracy theorist. I'm just stating facts right now. If you're a college athlete, a professional athlete, you have COVID-19, you're eventually going to be okay. Let's be honest here. 99 point, whatever percentage, you're going to be okay. So unless, once again, and I reiterate this thing every single day, unless we as a society and unless, the CDC or whoever's calling these shots goes ahead and says, you know what? If you're positive, if you're asymptomatic, it's not that big of a deal. Go ahead and play. Unless that happens, Kuz, I'm having a hard time believing right now that we're going to expect the NFL to start up on time. Because let's be honest right now, too. You want to talk about the NFL? Let's talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars. Youngest team in the NFL right now. A lot riding on this whole season. Is Gardner Minshew going to be the man? Is Doug Marone's job going to be safe? How are the first-round picks going to do? Is C.J. Henderson going to come out and ball like Jalen Ramsey did his rookie year? All these questions right now. Keep in mind what happens, though, in the NFL when teams start to come back to training camp. First of all, these players have not been under the same roof at all for the past year or so. So that's the issue. Number two, these players right now have been all over the globe hanging out with people. So you mean to tell me when players come back for training camp, there's not going to be a couple people who are going to have COVID-19? Well, then what's going to happen? We're going to quarantine these guys for 2 weeks? So now essentially you got to quarantine players for 2 weeks when they come back for training camp, when training camp's only, 4.5 weeks? So you're missing half the training camp already, man. There's just, there is so many factors right now that I hope will get addressed pretty soon. But also from the Jacksonville Jaguars standpoint. And if you're a Jaguars fan, this is important to you. I get right now Doug Marrone, where you can go ahead and say, well, depending how the Jaguars do this year, if there is a season, well, Doug Marrone's job is safe. Dave Caldwell, their jobs are safe, right? Because let's be honest, man, this is a crazy year. You can't possibly hold somebody accountable for how our team does this year on the field. Well, guess what? I'm here to say you can, and I'm here to say if you're Shad Khan, you should. And I'll talk about that next year on ESPN 690.
Golick and Wingo.
That's your first mistake is leaving read receipts on. Don't do that to yourself. Friends out there, reach out to the screen and receive this blessing right now. Turn your read receipts off and vice versa. You don't need that mental warfare in your life.
Where are read receipts?
I'm going to do the Men in Black thing right now. We're just going to completely erase what just happened there from your thought process. Read receipts aren't a real thing to you. Okay. And that goes for everyone listening. Cool. Remove it from your life.
Golick and Wingo, weekdays at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN2.
Boss, check out this headline in the Crooks R Us newsletter. Big Blue Alarm now allowing contact center employees to work from home.
Whoa, all of them?
Not quite. Says 88% of Big Blue employees are working from home.
Wonder if their customers know that the people monitoring their alarm are probably sitting at the kitchen table in their underwear.
Hey, maybe that's one of the reasons Big Blue doesn't have a guaranteed response.
That is an excellent point. Too bad Safe Touch Security isn't more like Big Blue Alarm.
Wishful thinking, boss. Listen to this. Safe Touch Security still leads the way with the fastest response time in the industry. Boss, how do they do it?
Doesn't matter. We still gotta stick to the Crooks R Us motto. Stay away from Safe Touch houses. Do that and we'll be fine.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Now more than ever, you need the open road. Windows down, wind in your hair, pure freedom. Then go see our friends over at Arlington Toyota, because their massive construction sale was made to put you behind the wheel today. Think you can't afford a new ride? Think again. At Arlington, you choose 0 down with low payments or no payments until 2021. Get into Arlington today where you can drive away in a new Toyota Corolla for $199 a month with 0 down or no payments till 2021. That's a pre-owned Corolla for $199 down with 0 down or no payments until 2021. How about a Toyota Camry for $249 a month with 0 down or no payments till 2021? That's a pre-owned Camry for $249 a month with nothing down or no payments till 2021. Plus, with Arlington's Credit for Everyone program, if your Beacon score is from 450 to 850, Arlington's getting almost everyone approved. And you get Arlington's 30-day exchange policy on any vehicle you purchase. As always, your safety is Arlington's priority. Go see them today, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit Arlington Toyota /June offers for full details.
O'Reilly. Right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, get up to a $15 gift card after mail-in rebate when you purchase select Superstart batteries. With high cranking power and reserved capacity, Superstart batteries provide all the power your vehicle demands and more. Turn the key with confidence. Superstart batteries only at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
The Home Depot is cooking up new ways to start summer here and bring summer home. From online ordering to free delivery and convenient store pickup, we're helping make sure taking care of your summer projects is a breeze. And summer savings on all your favorite brands make things even easier. So freshen up the deck, fire up the grill. Summer's here. and it's as close as your own backyard. The Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Now more than ever, you need the open road. Windows down, wind in your hair, pure freedom. Then go see our friends over at Arlington Toyota, because their massive construction sale was made to put you behind the wheel today. Think you can't afford a new ride? Think again. At Arlington, you choose 0 down with low payments or no payments until 2021. Get to Arlington today where you can drive away in a Toyota RAV4 XLE for $285 a month with 0 down or no payments until 2021. That's a pre-owned RAV4 for $285 a month with 0 down or no payments till 2021. How about a Toyota Tacoma for $285 a month with 0 down or no payments until 2021? We're talking about a pre-owned Tacoma for $285 a month with 0 down or no payments till 2021. Plus, with Arlington's Credit for Everyone program, if your Beacon score is from 450 to 850, Arlington's getting almost everyone approved. And you get Arlington's 30-day exchange policy on any vehicle you purchase. As always, your safety is Arlington's priority. Go see them today, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit Arlington Toyota/June offers for full details.
The global coronavirus outbreak is stretching the coping capacity of even the best prepared countries. Yet the world has barely begun to come to grips with how coronavirus threatens the world's poorest communities. Send a care package at carepackage.org to those who need it most. These care packages will ensure hygiene supplies, hand-washing stations, and drinkable water gets to people most in need. Visit carepackage.org to send a care package today.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN690.
Gonna give me some of that
Kuz.
It's unreal.
That's the most impressive thing Kuz has ever done.
Oh, without a doubt.
Here on the show.
That was very nice.
It's the best use of star 690 ever.
Listen weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. in your car or stream them. ESPN690.com.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio. This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Well, they're very concerned, and they should be. The health and safety of our players, and of course, everyone around these camps is the most important thing. And that's why specific protocols have to be in place if and when these camps open up, so you don't have to close down these camps again. And as of yesterday, not all those protocols were in place, so there was no specific roadmap going forward.
ESPN's Tim Kirchin with some Metallica in the background that sounded like or something. I don't know. No, not that.
When they were playing like a sports highlight or something? Yeah, that kills me.
Yeah, listen, Tim, awesome, man. Okay, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't care about Major League Baseball anymore, okay? Because I said this on Friday. Sorry, I'm trying to form my thoughts here and not cuss on air and get in trouble because I've been so good the past couple of days and I don't want to get in trouble now. But it's like I've said, all right? Right now, Major League Baseball and the commissioner and the people involved with the game, it's like it's Regina George writing in her burn book, okay? There's just so much drama right now, and I'm not seeing any results, okay? All I'm seeing is words, and actions speak louder than words. So I'm not going to keep on playing this game where it's like, whoa, is baseball coming back today? Is it a good day for baseball? Is it a bad day for baseball? What's going on in baseball now? I'm just going to say, in terms of the Major League Baseball season, I really don't care anymore, man. All right? I'm actually over it because it's only going to make me upset. It's only going to get me frustrated. I'm only going to cuss on the air, and then I'm going to get in trouble, and nobody wins. So, Kuz, I'm just going to sleep on baseball. If the MLB comes back and there's an update, be sure to let me know. But until that time, nah. But I will talk about the Ken Griffey Jr. documentary because that was sweet, and we'll get into that later on in the show, though. Kuz, did you watch it? Probably not, right? That's a little before your time.
No, I wanted to, but I was driving back from St. Augustine when it was on air, sadly.
Shout out to the MLB Network. $10 a month. Yeah, I spent $10 on the MLB Network just for one documentary.
For that one? Did you cancel the subscription right away?
No, you know what? I forgot to do it. Don't tell my wife. But
okay.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. So anyways, though, but before we went to break, I brought up the question. How much accountability and how much of the team's performances this year fall on the coaching? Okay? For instance, my example, Jaguars fans, right now. If Doug Marrone was to win 3, 4, or 5 games right now, I think during a regular season you would say, I'm not crazy about it. All right, let's go ahead and get him out of here. But let's see where we're at right now. We're in the middle of a pandemic. Numbers are rising again. We don't know what's going to happen with the NFL season. We don't know who's going to be starting. Fantasy football experts are stressing because they don't know who to draft. Okay, so I understand that. But here's what I don't understand. And it's the term accountability when it comes to coaching. Okay? We always talk, well, I don't talk about this, but a lot of people out there, whether it's in the national media or former players, whoever it's going to be, they always say players are soft and players are soft and we give players too much slack and all this stuff. What about coaches? Okay? Because take Mike Tomlin, for example. Mike Tomlin last year for the Pittsburgh Steelers went 8-8. Loses Ben Roethlisberger, loses James Conner for a little bit of the season, loses his number one receiver for a little bit, Smith-Schuster. They had a quarterback who I never heard of before throwing balls back there. It was a nightmare for the Pittsburgh Steelers. But Mike Tomlin still went 8-8. Everybody celebrated him, as they should, because the Pittsburgh Steelers last year, with everything that they went through, shouldn't have gone 8-8. But what happened? They did due to Mike Tomlin's coaching and his culture, and he was celebrated for it. Now, all of a sudden, the Pittsburgh Steelers this year, they're the talk of the town. You know, back to the AFC North. Yeah, you got the Ravens, obviously. Browns look pretty good, but don't count out those Steelers. But at the same time, if Mike Tomlin would have won 3 games last year, everybody would have went, oh, well, it's because you didn't have Ben Roethlisberger. Oh, it's because James Conner got hurt. Oh, it's because Smith-Schuster got hurt. So my point is, why do we praise coaches when they make do with very little, but then we don't criticize coaches if they don't succeed? Then we make excuses for them. This is where I'm at right now in the terms of the landscape and how much falls on the head coach this year. If I'm Shad Khan, I'm still holding people accountable, man. Now, listen, we don't know who's going to be playing for the Jacksonville Jaguars. We're not sure, knock on wood, who's going to have COVID-19 and all that stuff. But guess what? The league right now, you're at an even playing field, okay? Everyone's got to go through the exact same stuff. So to me, this year is an opportunity for head coaches in the NFL to shine, because this is why you're a head coach in the first place. Sure, you have your Doug Petersons. Sure, you have your Sean McVays, your Sean Paytons, and of course your Andy Reids, who are more of the X's and O's guys as well. You have those guys that are going to be calling the plays and, you know, intricating their offenses. Or you have Bill Belichick and other guys who are calling the defense. I get that point. But the job of an NFL head coach, don't get it twisted, is to set the culture and to make sure his players are all on the same page. And most importantly this year is to adapt when things do not go your way. Last year, Mike Tomlin, Pittsburgh Steelers, things did not go their way. But you know what? They still win 8-8 somehow. Don't ask me how they didn't. I still can't figure it out. I get it. Great defense, but it's more to the NFL than just the defense. But Mike Tomlin found a way. So this is where I'm getting to right now. If we're sitting here in January, in February, whenever the NFL season ends, who knows what it's going to look like right now. But if we're sitting here right now, and we're talking about the Jacksonville Jaguars, and we're saying, oof, rough season, 4 games, 5 games. And all of a sudden we go, well, you know, it was one of those things, man, the COVID-19, let's go ahead and give them a mulligan. There are no mulligans in the NFL, okay? And I don't care with the injuries. I don't care the COVID-19 who gets sick or not. There are no mulligans in the NFL. If there's going to be a season this year, which, believe me, they're going to try to do everything in their power to make sure that there is a season this year. If there's a season this year, then the accountability that falls on a coach should not change whatsoever. If anything, it should go up now because now we're going to find out who the real coaches are. Now we're going to find out who the real guys that can implement a culture, that can deal with all the COVID-19 stuff, that can deal with all the Black Lives Matter stuff. Don't get me wrong, man. It's a stressful time to be a head coach right now. I wouldn't want the job. There's no way in hell I want the job right now of an NFL coach. There is so much on these guys' plates right now, Kuz, it's not even funny. But this is what you signed up for, okay? This is how you adapt and you see what you're really made of. So with that being said, I'm not going to point the finger and say, well, you know what? Let's go ahead and give him a free pass because what happened this past season with COVID-19. No, sir, because we don't do that to players, all right? We don't do it to players where if a player's on the fringe of making a roster, that player gets hurt from unforeseen circumstances, and now he's gone. Welcome to the cutthroat business of the NFL, okay? There are no freebies. There are no mulligans. There should be no mulligans with players. There should be no freebies with players, so there dang well shouldn't be any freebies with coaches or leaderships in those locker rooms. So I'm going to, listen, in terms of how I think the Jaguars are going to do, you know, that's another topic, right? We know right now it could be a struggle bus. We know right now that the biggest thing this season is Gardner Minshew leading the team. And is Gardner Minshew going to be the answer or not? But I'll be honest, man. If we're sitting here months from now in February and we're talking about how, well, let's go ahead and give Doug Marrone another shot because it didn't really go the way that they wanted to because COVID-19. Let's go ahead and give the defensive coordinator or even the offensive coordinator another shot because you know what? COVID-19, the players didn't get a chance to work around each other, yada, 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 excuse after excuse. No, I'm not playing that game because there's no excuses for players and there shouldn't be any excuses for coaches as well. So like I said, I think this is an opportunity to see what coaches are made out of and an opportunity to see what kind of cultures are made of. And we'll go from there, once again, assuming that there is the NFL this year with COVID-19. Kuz, though, I did mention Ken Griffey Jr. a little bit, man. And a question I kind of had for you, and it's interesting, right, Kuz, because we have a lot of things in common, okay? We have the same taste in music, I would say, for the most part. Same taste in movies. We play video games. You know, like we're a couple hip guys, okay? Let's be honest here. We're the talk of the town, if you will. But something that kind of dawned on me a little bit, and it happened watching The Last Dance with Michael Jordan, and it even happened a little more now watching the Ken Griffey Jr. documentary, is that when I was a kid growing up, I mean, it was Ken Griffey Jr., it was Michael Jordan, and then the NFL was a little different, but obviously it was Brett Favre for me growing up in Wisconsin, and then it was Wayne Gretzky in hockey. You know what I mean? Like 3 out of 4, they were the guys, okay? If you're any kid growing up, you had that Griffey hat, or you had a Griffey starter jacket, or you played Slugfest, whatever it was, but you were involved with Ken Griffey Jr., you had at least one article of Chicago Bulls or a Jordan shoe or something like that. And obviously, if you knew what hockey was, you're rocking something with Wayne Gretzky. Didn't matter who he played for, Oilers, Kings, you were a Wayne Gretzky fan. With that being said, though, you missed out on those things. Right? So the way I look at it right now is, obviously, Brent is the elder of our group. I'm in the middle. And then even though we're very compatible in terms and things that we're into, whether it's sports, music, movies, pop culture, whatever it is, but your generation is on a far different landscape in terms of your sports heroes than my generation was. I think it's fair to say. So my question to you is, whether we're talking about baseball, football, or basketball, like, who do you think would represent your generation, growing up as a kid?
I guess it depends on what, we specifically, timeline-wise, pick, right? Because, for me, being from Philly, Allen Iverson was the dude.
Sure.
For us. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if everyone would agree with that because you have Kobe doing his thing and stuff like that. Baseball-wise, again, I'm very localized to where I grew up. The people I cared about baseball-wise were Jimmy Rollins, Chase Utley, the Philly guys.
Yeah.
But that's not going to be the answer that, everyone's going to give. So those are the guys that popped to my head, right off the rip of just being, people I really gravitated to or cared about growing up. But I know that's more because that's where I grew up and where I started getting into sports, I guess. My favorite football player growing up was Chris Cooley. Tight end for the Redskins.
I feel old right now.
Yeah.
I wonder if we. Do you know when he retired? I wonder if we actually. Okay, yeah, but anyways, but I know you're talking about. He was the guy that first started to don those short shorts in training camp. Oh yeah, they're like Larry Bird shorts, basically.
Yeah, but like those are the guys. Like I don't think I'm a good example of that because I would pick random people that I would gravitate to.
Yeah, but let's be honest though. Maybe you are the perfect example for this because it's kind of proving my point right now. And I get it because I missed the tail end of my childhood from the Kobe and Allen Iverson debate. And it seemed like in the NBA, you either liked Allen Iverson or you like Kobe Bryant. And it's funny because like your personality and even your style, it was geared towards one of those guys, right? Like obviously Allen Iverson was more of the, I don't want to say like rough around the edges type of guy, but the guy's covered in tattoos, right? Like the guy is the shortest dude on the floor, but he plays the hardest. Like he's the ultimate dog type of player, man. And I say that with all due respect. And Kobe Bryant always seemed more of like, like the flashy guy. He's in LA, more finesse, even though that's anything further from the truth. But I'm just saying, growing up as a kid, he seemed like more finesse and more of just a guy who was a scorer, but like he didn't have like necessarily maybe the grit that Allen Iverson had. Just because I feel like Allen Iverson, he had to have the grit. He was below 6 feet, man. He had to have grit. Or he's like 6'1" or whatever. So I agree with you there. And in terms of football, I mean, if you want to go Mike Vick, maybe, I guess what I'm trying to say, though, is like, I think in the generation that I grew up in, and maybe I'm partial and maybe I'm biased, but in terms of like Michael Jordan, in terms of Ken Griffey Jr., and in terms of like Wayne Gretzky, dude, those are like the who's who of players that put the sport in a different stratosphere. And we talk about Ken Griffey Jr., and once again, the documentary was last night. If you haven't seen it, I recommend you guys go back and watch it because it was fantastic. And I was nervous, man, because I watched that Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire documentary on ESPN, and I was like, oh, no, please don't crush Ken Griffey Jr. because, like I said, the guy's a hero, man. Literally the only reason why I played baseball in the first place growing up in Little League and up until my freshman year of high school was because of Ken Griffey Jr. Because Ken Griffey Jr. made the game look cool. No matter what Ken Griffey Jr. did, whether it was his sweet swing, having his own shoes, putting the hat on backwards, it was cool to play baseball for the first time in my life. With all due respect to Robin Yount and Paul Molitor and the Milwaukee Brewer greats, with all due respect to all those guys, no one was rocking a Paul Molitor jersey. I'm sorry, okay? Dude was one of the best hitters of all time, but nobody cared, okay? Everyone wanted a piece of Griffey. And as a kid, you had these preconceived notions of who Griffey was because keep in mind, as a kid, it was kind of like the Mike Trout effect. We want to talk about right now, the best player in baseball? Well, obviously it's Mike Trout, hands down. I'm not going to argue with you at all. Well, Mike Trout plays on the West Coast. Ken Griffey Jr. played on the West Coast. I didn't see Ken Griffey Jr. play on TV or in person well into probably his 4th or 5th season in Major League Baseball. And that's when one of my mom's boyfriend actually won tickets at a golf tournament, and he got to select a date that the Brewers got to play where I got to go watch the game with him. Well, he knew I was a Mariners fan, so we got to go see Ken Griffey Jr. play in person. That was my first time seeing Ken Griffey Jr. play on TV or in person. But keep in mind, even though I never saw him play a full game, I was still the biggest fan because like the legend and the aura of Ken Griffey Jr. was everywhere. He was undeniable. And this is my point with Mike Trout now and other Major League Baseball players. Me and Brent always get in a debate about Major League Baseball and where it's at right now in terms of the fan base, in terms of turnout of new, fresh young players, things like that. And he's kind of on his side of the fence, and I'm on my side of the fence. Now, if you want to go over the numbers, we can go over the numbers real quick in terms of baseball attendance. All right. Last year, baseball attendance was the worst that it's ever been in 16 years. Okay. Take that for what you want. That's a New York Times article. I trust them. Take that for what you want. And I'll also be honest with what I saw too. When I was at the Black Lives Matter protests, I kind of surveyed the crowd a little bit. I'm a big people watcher. I love to meet new people. I'll be honest, man. I saw more Tampa Bay Lightning hats than I did Tampa Bay Rays hats. This is at a Black Lives Matter protest. Think about what you want there. But facts is facts, right? So is there a problem in baseball? I wholeheartedly believe there is. Now, once again, I don't care if baseball is coming back this season. Kuzka, I just said, I'm so sick and tired of the drama and trying to break it down. Let them figure it out. If you guys want to come back, so be it. If not, well, good riddance to you. Better luck next year. But I'm just saying right now, baseball, they need the resurgence, in my opinion. They need, for whatever reason, Mike Trout to be the bigger name that he should be, okay? Because watching that Ken Griffey Jr. documentary last night, it taught me a couple things. Once again, I had my preconceived notions of Ken Griffey Jr. I didn't know a lot about him. I just knew I wanted to be exactly like him, but I didn't really know him. Ken Griffey Jr. was never the guy who was going to give you the interesting sound bites, all right? He was a very humble and family-oriented guy. Never said anything outlandish, was never cocky, nothing like that at all. But a couple things stood out, and one thing especially is the way that he played. Now, I owe Ken Griffey Jr. an apology. Because my childhood and growing up into my high school years, when he went to the Cincinnati Reds, I guarantee there was conversations of me calling Ken Griffey Jr. fragile and soft. Because my memories of Ken Griffey Jr. in Cincinnati, it was always that, here's another hamstring pull. Oh, great, now he, tore his shoulder. Oh, another hamstring pull, out another 40 games. Like, he always had the tendency to start out hot in Cincinnati, and then you'd have, like, this injury, like these routine injuries where he's in the outfield diving for a ball. Boom, torn shoulder. Or he gets caught in a pickle. Boom, torn hamstring. And I always thought, like, man, you're just soft, Griffey. You're just fragile. And you know what? I was wrong, man. I was dead wrong. And I apologize for even having those thoughts. Because then it turns out that Ken Griffey Jr., even though he made everything look so easy with that sweet swing, even though he just climbed up a wall like Spider-Man to rob people of home runs time after time after time again, that dude went balls to the wall on every single play. They had the former manager of the Seattle Mariners, Lou Piniella, have some great sound bites where him and Griffey used to get in fights about how hard Griffey played. Whether there was a fly ball in the outfield, Griffey was going to go get it. Whether it was a situation where do you dive or do you let a single drop and, play it safe, Griffey never played it safe. And that in turn led up to his demise when he got to Cincinnati, just because his body couldn't take the abuse that Griffey was putting on it on every single game. And it's funny, right? Because as a kid, we talk about how he was all about finesse. He made things look easy. Well, go watch this documentary and watch how hard that guy exerted himself on every single play. The human body can only take so much regardless of the sport. And Griffey even says this in the documentary. It's just his body finally shut down. It was interesting because it reminded me of a conversation that former Jaguar Eben Britton, when we had him on the show. And me and Eben Britton were going back and forth with the quote until the wheels fall off, because we were both kind of cut from the same cloth, where it was like whether it was practice, whether it was a game, we only knew one speed, and that was all out. Now, if we would have took things easy a little bit, would our careers have lasted longer? Would we have not have been so susceptible to injuries? Maybe, but that's just the way we were, and we don't regret it. And Ken Griffey Jr. doesn't regret that at all as well. So I thought that was very interesting and kind of a situation where I was like, man, I feel really bad to ever think that Ken Griffey Jr. was ever soft, because he wasn't, man. He was far from it. A couple other observations from the documentary, though. Being 19 years old and playing in the major leagues, man, still baffles me. Like, I remember you remember being 19 years old? What were you doing when you were 19 years old?
Probably a lot of drinking.
Fake IDs, right? Probably fake. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Griffey was in spring training showing up all the big leaguers, man. It's absolutely insane to think about. But, like, the guy was just that special. And he obviously had the mindset for it. But once again, like, he doesn't remind me of like a Bryce Harper, like this very brash, this dude who everyone can just gravitate towards because of his personality. Truth be told, Ken Griffey Jr., I mean, as far as sound bites are concerned in the documentary, nothing that great, man. But once again, the style and the mindset that he had to go out there and give it all that he had, that's what set Griffey apart more than anything. A couple more observations. Alex Rodriguez played for the Seattle Mariners for a long time. Not once was he mentioned. Not sure what's up with A-Rod and Ken Griffey Jr. Not sure there's some animosity there. wasn't mentioned once. Jay Buhner got a lot of screen time, which I was a fan of. Loved me some Jay Buhner. I remember hearing stories where if you were bald and you went to a Mariners game, you got in for free on Jay Buhner nights. So you got to like that, man. Dude was a rock star back then. That was interesting. And the last thing I'm taking away from the Ken Griffey Jr. documentary, and then we'll get on some new topics here, he had every right to point the finger and say, you know what? I never did steroids. I never once took an illegal supplement. Do you know how many times Ken Griffey Jr. in that documentary bragged about not taking steroids and doing it the natural way? 0. Didn't mention it once. Now, his peers in the documentary mentioned it all the time. And they're very adamant about saying how he should be celebrated just from the standpoint of when everybody else around him, who was a great home run hitter, was taking steroids, Ken Griffey Jr. didn't. But Griffey never once brought it up, man. And that's when you know that you've made something of yourself. And that's when you know that you're a guy that's all time, because you have other people talking for you. Ken Griffey Jr. could have easily said, you know what? I didn't take steroids. Other guys around me took steroids, and I think it's pretty messed up. I don't think they should be in the record books. Nothing like that. Griffey didn't even touch on the subject. Just talked about how great his teammates were and how much he loved the game of baseball. He let everybody else, he let every one of his peers and his coaches talk about all the steroid stuff. And to me, that's what makes Ken Griffey Jr. so great. He didn't have to be this brash guy that gave the crazy quotes. He didn't have to be this flashy guy, really, who, made these crazy plays, even though he did, obviously, but he was so smooth with it. But he was the guy who did two things. He loved the game of baseball, and he played 110% every single play, every single rep. Now, does Mike Trout do that? Probably. Does Bryce Harper do that? Probably. Does Mookie Betts do that? Probably. But for some reason right now, whether it's the social media climate, whether people are bored with baseball, but it's not translating to the viewership, and it's not translating to the hype of making these guys bigger stars. And I'll be honest with you, man, if you can't be a bigger star from giving your heart out and playing all out, I'm not sure what you can do.
Action Sports Jax with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Mostly sunny and hot this afternoon with an isolated afternoon shower and thunderstorm with highs in the low to mid-90s, 94 for Jacksonville. Remaining quiet tonight with partly cloudy skies and lows in the lower 70s. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Alyssa Pedjig.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, with the guaranteed lowest diamond prices in North Florida. Beards Diamonds in the St. John's Town Center.
Men, are the effects of hypertension, diabetes, or prostate cancer preventing you from having a satisfying love life? In just one visit, the doctors at Prime Men's Medical Center can help you overcome ED or PE to regain your confidence and have you last longer in the bedroom. Name brand pills don't work for many men and can have serious side effects. The highly skilled physicians at Prime Men's Medical Center provide custom blended medications that are safe, effective, and work immediately, regardless of your medical history or age. You'll see results on your first visit, guaranteed, or your consultation is free. So, if you have problems in the bedroom, call now for a private consultation. One call, one visit, one simple solution to regain your love life. Call Prime Men's Medical Center now at 904-206-8105. 904-206-8105. That's 904-206-8105.
The global coronavirus outbreak is stretching the coping capacity of even the best prepared countries. Yet the world has barely begun to come to grips with how coronavirus threatens the world's poorest communities. Send a care package at carepackage.org to those who need it most. These care packages will ensure hygiene supplies, hand washing stations, and drinkable water gets to people most in need. Visit carepackage.org to send a care package today.
I call them 3 shirt days. That's when the summer heat in Jacksonville just sizzles. It's relentless, and you want to be prepared for it. Bold City Heating and Air will help you do that. Nothing worse than sweating in your own home and wondering, Hey, what happened to the AC? We've been there before. Your air conditioning unit needs to be ready for the heat. It might need to get serviced. The hot weather is here, and Bold City Heating and Air is here for you, just like they have been for my family the last couple of years. Right now, it's $25 off an annual maintenance. Bold City will thoroughly service, clean, and test your system to ensure it is working efficiently. Then you'll be comfortable this summer, all summer. After the $25 off, it's just $70. Book your maintenance service now and save. Save now, beat the heat. Visit boldcityac.com or call 904-379-1648 to schedule. Mirza and his staff are ready to take care of you and your family. Be bold and beat the heat and make it a one-shirt day, even in the summer heat. Go to boldcityac.com.
Take a look out your window right now. Things appear basically the same, but you know they're not. Same with your business. There have been changes, some might even be permanent. Only time will tell. But in the meantime, how will you respond? Stay the course, or will you explore the new opportunities in front of you? At Cox Media Group Jacksonville, we know that those who explore often discover wonderful new things. If you're willing, we're able to help. Contact us at 245-8732 or email buildjax@cmg.com. And let's build Jax.
Now more than ever, you need the open road. Windows down, wind in your hair, pure freedom. Then go see our friends over at Arlington Toyota, because their massive construction sale was made to put you behind the wheel today. Think you can't afford a new ride? Think again. At Arlington, you choose 0 down with low payments or no payments until 2021. Get to Arlington today where you can drive away in a Toyota RAV4 XLE for $285 a month with 0 down or no payments until 2021. That's a pre-owned RAV4 for $285 a month with 0 down or no payments till 2021. How about a Toyota Tacoma for $285 a month with 0 down or no payments until 2021? We're talking about a pre-owned Tacoma for $285 a month with 0 down or no payments till 2021. Plus, with Arlington's Credit for Everyone program, if your Beacon score is from 450 to 850, Arlington's getting almost everyone approved. And you get Arlington's 30-day exchange policy on any vehicle you purchase. As always, your safety is Arlington's priority. Go see them today, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit Arlington Toyota/June offers for full details.
Hello, business owners. We're all in this together. Our company, CMG Jacksonville, knows you need clients to trust your brand. We have the right people and the ideal platforms to help you do that. It's important to advertise now, more than ever. Now, to create an unbreakable loyalty to your brand, CMG Jacksonville can help you make that happen.
Hi, I'm Phil Howard, and they call me Profit Manager here at Cox Media Group because my only focus is to deliver advertising and marketing results for the businesses I work with. Our 8 radio stations and extensive online marketing tools, which include partnerships with Facebook and Google, have done just that for many local businesses. I'm here for you and to help you grow strategically. Call me at 451-2872. That's 451-2872. I want to be your profit manager.
Okay, boss, here's the house. Been watching it all week.
And you're sure it only has a big blue alarm system?
Yep. That means we should have all the time we need.
Yeah, still can't believe Big Blue Alarm is allowing their employees to monitor alarm systems while they're working from home.
Yeah, let's see, how many times do I get distracted when I'm at my house?
Right? Let's just hope the Big Blue operator monitoring this house just started binge watching a TV show.
Meanwhile, right across the street, Safe Touch is still as steady as can be with the fastest guaranteed response time anywhere.
And that is why we're standing on the outside of the house with the Big Blue Alarm.
Just following the Crooks of Us motto, stay away from Safe Touch houses.
Yeah. All right, let's get busy.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Out of sight, out of mind still holds true. When things disappear from your day-to-day life, you think about them less and less. This includes your business. Yes, things are difficult, but if your customers aren't thinking about you now, how can you be sure they will be when this is past? At Cox Media Group Jacksonville, we make sure they will. We'll help you stay on the mind of your customers and even get into the mind of some new customers. Contact CMG Jacksonville at 245-8732 or email buildjax@cmg.com and let's Let's build Jax.
Reliant Roofing, Solar, and Hurricane Shutters is pleased to announce its 4th annual Every Shingle Heart Initiative. This year, they will give a free roof to one healthcare worker or first responder in Northeast Florida. The individuals who've been making the ultimate sacrifice over the last several months during the COVID-19 pandemic. Reliant wants to return the favor to someone in these fields. To nominate someone, you can visit their website, ReliantRoofing.com/Every Shingle Heart. Nominations will open June 15th until July 31st. The recipient chosen will be announced on August 15th, 2020.
Jackson This Together is not just a hashtag. We believe it, and we are living it, all of us. Hey everyone, this is Brent Martineau. These may be uncertain times, but we can still lift each other up, share a laugh, a smile, and even a shout out. If you would like to recognize someone, maybe a healthcare worker, a truck driver, someone who works for a local restaurant, or maybe it's someone's birthday, call *690. Leave a message and we will share it on ESPN690. That's *690. Give it a call and help make somebody's day.
From First Take to your radio.
Everybody is out because of the coronavirus. All the conditions that are restrictive to one is restrictive to all. And if somebody was smart enough to be dedicated during this time, more so than somebody else, those were probably going to be the champions any damn way. Get over it.
First Take, your take from 1 to 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN News.
See, very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
You like money. I suggest you get your voice looked at.
It's allergy season.
It seems to be always allergy season, Stugatz.
That's because it is.
The Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugatz on ESPN Radio and ESPN News.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
I've told you guys this many times before. I believed one day, back in the day that I was a fighter and I wanted to do this and that, and one day I found out that I wasn't. The realization was that I wasn't. And when you find out, you need to walk away, and you need to. I'm not saying that's the case with this kid, but if that kid felt like he needed to quit tonight, who the is anybody to judge him on that? He had the balls to come here and fight and take a short notice fight in the UFC. Man, let me tell you what. In this sport, if you're done, you're done. You should absolutely be able to quit. I know that it's frowned upon, but guess what? Anybody that would talk about you quitting isn't in there fighting. It's real easy to be a critic. What these kids do is a whole nother level, man.
UFC President Dana White talking about the first fight of the night this past Saturday between Austin Hubbard and Max Roshkoff, and I'll get into that in a minute. And it's like I said, man, this past weekend, it was kind of an interesting vibe in terms of, well, at least sports that I love. Obviously, things on the college football landscape, not looking good. Bubba Wallace finds a noose, or I'm sorry, one of his teammates finds a noose in their garage. That rubbed me the wrong way. There's a bunch of professional wrestlers right now that are being accused of a lot of things. I don't need to get into all that right now, but a lot of them, whether it's with AEW, WWE, or on the independent scene, there's a couple wrestlers right now who have been suspended indefinitely, including a couple guys from AEW. So that's going on. And then the UFC comes out on Saturday. And it's the first fight of the night, okay? It sets the pace for the entire card. UFC, first sport to opened back up here in Jacksonville. And I get it. Golf's coming back. NASCAR's coming back. There's sports that are back now. We'll see with the NBA. But as far as things to watch on TV in terms of live sports, there's not too much. Yeah, sure, you can have the Premier Soccer League as well. But the UFC's been doing pretty well right now with viewership. So the first fight of the night comes down between Austin Hubbard and a guy by the name of Max Roshkoff. Max Roshkoff took this fight probably on 4 days' notice, okay? The opponent who was originally supposed to fight ended up falling out. UFC gave Roshkoff a chance. Obviously, it's Roshkoff's dream to be in the UFC, so he's like, I know, only about 4 days, but let's go ahead and do it, right? This is the UFC. This is the pinnacle of mixed martial arts. This is why I do it. I'm going to take my chance, and let's see what I got. Steps in the cage. Number one, if you step in an MMA cage or if you step in a boxing ring or whatever for a fight, you immediately have my respect. Okay? So immediately, Max Rashkoff, you have my utmost respect because I've been in those cages, man. And I've been in gyms with even with sparring sessions. And to say the anxiety that you go through, to say, the mental gymnastics that you go through, it's unreal. Now, keep in mind, this guy's fighting like on 4 days' notice. So imagine just being at home with your family, and all of a sudden, 4 days ago, Dana White calls you and says, hey, do you want to fight in the UFC? Like, how nerve-wracking could that be? Okay? So the guy goes in the cage, and guess what?
Do you really say no to that, by the way? Honest question.
It's hard, man. It's so hard to say no. Because, Kuz, especially in the fight game, there's only a couple opportunities that you get, man.
Right.
And then your time's up. And in terms of Rashkoff, but listen, I don't know his whole history. I don't know his record. I don't know, the types of fights that he has. But all I know is that if you get the opportunity, regardless of the circumstances, you pull the trigger and then you say, I'm in, okay? And that's what fighters do. So, I mean, to be fair with you, there's a point there, a guy by the name of Justin James as well. So Justin James later on the card fought a guy by the name of Frank Camacho. No, not really household names, obviously, but Justin James, Kuz, fighting on 5 days' notice. Went in and knocked the dude out in 40 seconds. Guy that fought on 5 days' notice. And now guess what? He's probably got a UFC contract waiting for him. How could you not give it to him, right? So with that being said, Max Rashkoff goes out there. The first round gets absolutely pieced up, okay? Wasn't pretty. Confidence was absolutely shot. And you know what? You could tell as he was walking out there that it wasn't going to be his night, okay? Sometimes you can just tell where you walk out to a fight, it's just like, I don't think this guy has it tonight. And and it happens to everybody. Whether it's in sparring, whether it's, in practice, whether it's in a fight, sometimes you just walk out there, man, and for whatever reason, you can't put a finger on it. No matter how much work you did, you just don't feel right. And that's the fight game. And it happens to everybody. So that night on Saturday in Las Vegas at the UFC Apex wasn't Max Rashkoff's night. So what happens? Max Rashkoff gets pieced up in round one, goes back to his corner, a dejected, a defeated man. And basically essentially tells his corner when they're trying to give him advice, hey, man, I don't want to fight anymore. I'm done. This guy's got my number. I don't want to go back out there. So this guy is literally pleading with his corner not to send him back out there. Now, understand this. The relationship between a fighter and a coach, it's a very important symbiotic relationship because sometimes a fighter can lack confidence and sometimes it's the coach's job to be like that psychiatrist or to be like that therapist and inspire confidence, right? Sometimes you can tell when a fighter's down a little bit around where it's like, hey, man, let's pick it up. Let's go. We got to go. We got to go. And that's okay. But when your fighter is telling you over and over again, and keep in mind right now, the cameras are rolling, the national world is watching the UFC event on ESPN, and we're sitting down to a guy begging not to go back out there, and we're watching his corner say, be quiet, you're going back out there, over and over and over again. This wasn't just one situation where Max Rashkoff was like, I just don't feel like going out there, man, let's call it. No. He kept on saying over and over and over again, I don't want to go back out there. And his corner kept on saying, well, you're going back out there. Finally, thankfully, the ref steps in and hears the conversation, and the corner goes, he doesn't want to fight. And they called off the fight. That makes me upset because it makes the sport that I love to do look bad, okay? And it makes the sport that I love to cover and that I'm passionate about look bad. Because I understand. A lot of guys in MMA, they want to go out on their shields. Either you go out for the win or you get knocked out or you tap out, but you live to fight another day. But sometimes you just feel like, you know what, it's just not my day. It's not going the way I planned on it going, and I can't do anything about it, and I want to get out of here. And that's okay, man. Because like I said, if you walk in the cage, you have my utmost respect. So to me, it was a bad look on his corner and his coaches because sometimes it's your corner's job to save a fighter from himself. What were you going to do? You're going to send Max Rashkoff back out there and say, well, hopefully he gets one punch in and maybe knocks the guy out? That's not how it works. If you're defeated mentally, then you're defeated physically. And he was only going to take more abuse and more damage for no reason. So that upset me. Then I go on Twitter, and apparently Twitter is just plagued with professional MMA fighters because now everyone's calling this Max Rashkoff guy a chicken. And they're calling him, other derogatory terms that I can't say on the radio, but everyone's saying, this guy's weak. What was he doing in the UFC? What a pansy. Like, all this stuff. And I'm sitting here wondering, I'm sorry. Are half of you guys on Twitter right now professional fighters? Do you know what it feels like to go in a cage and try to knock somebody out without trying to get your head knocked off? Do you know what it's like? So then what are we talking about right now? So then that made me even more upset. Is that we have the Twitter world who thinks they know best, who can say any comment that they want to with no repercussions, calling this guy a chicken and saying that he should have never been in the first place. And I'm here to tell you, as a professional fighter who's been up, who's been down, who's been on some pretty big cards, who's had some pretty big opportunities and fell a little short, I'm telling you right now, man, no. That's where I draw the line. And you know what? A few people that I follow had some things to say about him too. And I was so close, Goose, and I'm pointing out my finger right now. I was so close to losing my mind and going on a giant Twitter rant about people trying to call out that guy that didn't want to be in the cage.
It was Brent, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't Brent. It wasn't Brent. But I was so close, man, because I'm telling you, and I will die on this hill time and time and time again. If you haven't been in a cage or you haven't been in a ring, then don't ever. And I don't care if you're Stephen A. Smith. I don't care if you're a Twitter troll who lives in his mom's basement. I don't care who you are. But if you've never been in a cage and if you've never been in a ring before, then don't ever question a fighter's heart or what his intentions are. And that's where I draw the line, okay? You feel free to talk about what you saw from his technique. Feel free to talk about what you saw from his skill set, his attitude, his post-fight comments. Do all that stuff. But don't you ever question a fighter's heart, because I'm not going to stand for it. And I'll tell you what, if I see it again on my timeline, I'm going to call people out. And it's as simple as that. So I just had to address that, man. But it definitely rubbed me the wrong way. And listen, man, I'm not sure it's going to become a Max Rashkoff. I don't know if he's going to get another shot or not. But at the end of the day, man, it just wasn't your night. And I don't got to tell him anything. He knows he's a fighter. But I'm just saying everyone's got those types of nights, man. All right? And it sucks that it had to happen on probably the biggest stage of the biggest moment of your life. But you live to go on another day. And sometimes it's not about what happens to you. It's how about you respond to it. So I'm giving props to Max Rashkoff. Hopefully, man, whatever you decide to do, hopefully you get a shot to shine, maybe a full fight camp, yada, yada, yada. But hopefully it's all good with you, man. I got nothing but respect for you because you stepped in the cage and not everyone can do that. And realistically, most members of society have not done that. So props to him. Kuz, horse racing. Now, I'm not going to say that I'm upset with the horse racing at the Belmont Stakes.
I also have to tattle on myself a little bit.
You watched it?
No.
You didn't watch it?
So part of my job here is to post to social media, right?
Yeah.
So on Sunday.
Yep.
But I think it was Sunday morning after the race because the race was Saturday. That makes sense. Yep. So I just went to one of our blogs that we had on our website. Grabbed this story, put it up there. I was like, cool, that's like, the Belmont Stake. We got the winner up there.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And, didn't really think too much about it because all it is posting a link that we have.
Yep.
It was talking about like a race that was before the main race. So it was like
so you posted like one of the previous ones.
Like qualifying rounds.
Quality content from ESPN690.
Oh, immediately called out on social media.
Real?
Oh yeah, they were like, this isn't even like the one, and I was like, I posted I put the wrong one up, so I ended up switching it.
So I ended up checking out the Belmont Stakes, and listen, did I miss horse racing? It was on, so I checked it out. I'll be honest, man, and I never thought I would say this, but it was a weird race not to have the crowd at, because you think about horse racing. Obviously, you have the announcer calling what he sees, and he's excited. He's screaming and everything. People got a lot of money on the line. If you bet horse racing, I really don't, because what are we doing betting on horses? Like, what do we? I don't know anything about horses. Okay, so why would I bet on a horse? I don't know. Like, this guy is 3-1 to win. Because it's fun, I guess, man. But like,
it's the thrill.
If I'm going to make a bet, though, I need to have some kind of knowledge. When it comes to horse racing, I don't have the type of knowledge. I have to see the guys actually compete a couple times, and I don't do that with horse racing. So anyways, Belmont Stakes. Course shortened up a little bit. Got no problem with that. No spectators. Came off a little weird, especially at the end when the announcer's celebrating, obviously, because Tiz the Law won. And it's eerie. You know, you can kind of hear the clopping of the horses a little more. It was just a really weird scene. And then, of course, they cut to, the family and friends of Tiz the Law not practice social distancing. About 30 people on top of each other, hugging each other, kissing each other, not practicing social distancing, no masks being worn. But that's okay. I don't know. Whatever. Show it. That's fine. But here's my issue, Coos. And now Tiz the Law. Keep in mind, and once again, if you're in a horse race betting, check this out. Right now, the current odds of Tiz the Law to win the Triple Crown, the most prestigious trophy, I guess, it's not even a trophy, the most prestigious title in all of horse racing. 3 races. The chance of him winning it are 6-1 right now. That is not that bad of action. 6-1? Excuse me? And I guess people are saying those odds right now are pretty low, for the horse and everything. Here's my issue though, Coos, and I want to get how you feel about this. In terms of horse racing, do I know a lot? Absolutely not. I really don't know at all. But I do know names, okay? And if you mean to tell me that this horse is going to join the Seabiscuits, this horse is going to join the American Pharaohs and the annals of greatness of horse racing, Tiz the Law, I got an issue with that, man. Now, I don't know this horse's origin of his name, and I don't care. All I can think about, though, when I hear Tiz the Law, all I hear about is a snobby horse who snitches on other horses and is like, well, it is the law, so you're in trouble. That's all I can picture about this horse. Coos, am I in the wrong right now to think that Tiz the Law is an F ranking type of name? Just the worst?
We need to go through and, I feel like we'd really have to look at all previous winning horses.
Yeah.
Not necessarily Triple Crown, but in general. And then, make tiers, which seems like a lot of work for...
sounds like a lot of homework for a guy who's got a summer break coming up in a day or so.
Oh yeah, you're literally
gone.
You're sitting in that last 20 minutes of class. You're staring at the clock.
Yeah, man, I'm so far gone. Yeah, the last thing I'm gonna do is break down past Belmont Stakes horse winners. But all I'm gonna say is Tiz the Law doesn't flow off the tongue for me, man. I'm sorry. Okay, it doesn't have the greatness of that American Pharaoh. And listen. And maybe ESPN690, I mean, we can't get a TV in the studio yet. Maybe we dish out and get a horse. And maybe we name it the most, awesome name of all time.
Trying to make it.
And get him on this Trying to Make It. Not bad. Not bad. I just think and by the way, T-I-Z, T-I-Z the Law. I have to do some more research.
They're making it hip with the times,
I have to do some more research of where this horse got his name. But needless to say, I will not be cheering for that. I've never cheered against a horse before. But I will not be cheering for this horse to win the Triple Crown because the name just drives me nuts. Because all I can think about with this horse, beautiful brown horse with that little white thing on his nose, whatever you call that, I don't know. It's horse racing.
Birthmark?
Not even close, Coos.
Okay.
Not even close. No, it's not a birthmark, I don't think. Right now, horse racing fans turning off their radios, and that's fine.
Furious with us
right now. But I'm just going to say, the name Tiz the Law, snitch. And I don't want my horses to snitch, man. Simple as that. Give me a righteous name. American Pharaoh.
The horse's name could be whatever. Ain't No Snitch.
Ain't No Snitch. Can you imagine if this horse sets a record for fastest times or whatever at the Kentucky Derby, and then all of a sudden 10 years down the line Disney's got to do a movie about it. It's Viggo Mortensen starring in Tiz the Law. It just doesn't flow off the tongue.
Sounds like a Western.
I know. It's not Seabiscuit. It's not American Pharaoh. It's not, name another horse that had a lot of success. It's just, it doesn't work for me, man. And it upsets me. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin Land of Action Sports Jax on ESPN690. If you didn't catch today's episode, I'm not mad at you, not even disappointed, but check out what you missed.
People used to tell me all the time that I sound shorter than I am.
Your voice is like a little higher pitched. So like
Probably.
So you think of like Lollipop Girl from, Wizard of Oz, right?
Yeah. People are like, when you talk, I think you're walking down the yellow brick road.
There you
But
go.
when I see you...
Yeah. Check out our podcast on all platforms. Just search ESPN690. Subscribe to our podcast. Thanks.
Hello, business owners. We're all in this together. Our company, CMG Jacksonville, knows you need clients to trust your brand. We have the right people and the ideal platforms to help you do that. It's important to advertise now more than ever. Now, to create an unbreakable loyalty to your brand, CMG Jacksonville can help you make that happen.
Hi, this is Bob Herman. I'm a media consultant with Cox Media Group in Jacksonville. I've been in the business for 30 years. And my success has come from helping you to succeed, whether it's radio, digital, an event, or just offering a consultation. To me, it's about building a partnership and being accountable for doing the best I can for you. If you'd like to find out more, please call me, Bob Herman, at 904-245-8678. That's 245-8678. Let me go to work for you.
It happens to all of us. That AC unit just starts making some noise, or even worse, it's not working anymore. This is the time of year you don't want that to happen. It's way too hot around here. My friends at Bold City Heating and Air will help. They helped us. It started with a call from my wife, and she said the AC wasn't working. So we jumped on boldcityac.com, and before we knew it, they were at the door. Super friendly customer service, clean, timely, and personal service call. And now we're loyal to Bold City Heating and Air. They took care of my family. They'll take care of your family. It's a big investment in AC unit, but a necessary one. Mirrors at Bold City Heating and Air has built a strong culture, and as a customer, you can feel it. We felt it. The easiest way to start the relationship with an AC company you can trust is to go to boldcityac.com. Have Bold City Heating and Air check out your AC. Right now, it's $25 off and annual maintenance. Bold City will thoroughly service, clean, and test your system to ensure it's working efficiently. Good peace of mind at the very least. Visit boldcityac.com. Be bold and beat the heat at boldcityac.com.
Response to Diamonds Direct's incredible free finance offer has been amazing. People are driving for hours to take advantage of 5 years zero-interest financing with nothing down. But listen, these are the final days. This aggressive offer ends on June 30th and will not be extended. So don't wait another minute. Get to Diamonds Direct now. Pick any item. Get the unbeatable price Diamonds Direct is known for. Pay nothing down and spread your payments over 5 years without paying a dime in interest. It's the smartest way to buy, and it makes everything more affordable. An $8,000 designer engagement ring is just $134 a month. You can even finance the sales tax. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, bands, colored gemstone jewelry, one-of-a-kind designer pieces. Everything's included. But there's one catch. This is limited time offer, and it ends Thursday, June 30th on approved credit. 5 years, zero interest, nothing down, nothing held back. Exclusively at Diamonds Direct.
With COVID-19, more local families than ever need food. Our seniors require extra support, and kids stuck at home could use something to smile about. A gift in any amount will make a big difference, especially when you give through Jewish Family and Community Services. Thanks to the Max Block Food Pantry Matching Challenge, your donation will automatically double. Jewish Family and Community Services. Here for hunger, here for Jax. Learn more at hereforjax.com.
Nobody wants tax problems, and lives have certainly changed in the last couple of months. So let me tell you about J. David Tax Law. They are here to help you and your business with tax debt issues during the pandemic. Tax problems can be stressful, especially right now. If you owe a tax debt, there are new programs available that can help reduce or eliminate your IRS or sales tax burden. But here's the deal. The programs expire on July 15th, so don't wait. That's coming soon. Get the help you need with tax debt, payroll taxes, bank levies, wage garnishments, tax liens, and unfiled returns. With stimulus packages being distributed, the IRS will be collecting an unprecedented amount of tax debt to fund this historic initiative. J. David Tax Law only has experienced tax attorneys that will represent you. You want to be able to walk in and talk to someone and look them right in the eye when it comes to your taxes. J. David Tax Law is someone you can trust. If you have federal or state sales tax debt, have a sit down with J. David Tax Law. Your first step is a no-cost consultation. Call J. David Tax Law 904-507-4777, 904-507-4777, or go to jdavidtaxlaw.com.
Is your business losing sales from the current pandemic? Are you trying to remain in touch with important clients? If you're struggling with questions like this, you're not alone. Many small businesses are currently in a severe crisis and need immediate assistance. As the nation's premier organization supporting small businesses, SCORE offers webinars on a variety of topics that can help you manage through this crisis. Click on the Take a Workshop tab at jacksonville.score.org and register today.
Say hello to your new secret advertising weapon, your own branded mobile phone number. StarStar Mobile provisions vanity mobile numbers prefixed by ***, providing audiences an easy way to reach your business. Give it a try now by dialing *** Mobile from your mobile phone. That's *** Mobile.
Alexa, how do I drive more customers into my business?
First, people will need to hear about you. Then you need to be online where they look for you. Then you need to...
I don't have time for that. I need to run my business.
Okay, searching for a local team that can help.
Local Solutions. Visit JacksonvilleLocalSolutions.com today.
At AutoZone, we've always been here to help you get what you need to go where you need. That hasn't changed. Needing some battery help? We've got you. Whether it's a free battery test or a free charge, we can help you get started again. And if it's time for a replacement, we've got a full selection of batteries starting at $79.99. That's why we're America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone. Based on data from the MPD Group Incorporated, Car Care Track, 12 months ending December 2019.
It's time for some straight talk. Even though most live sports are on hold now, big wireless companies haven't stopped playing games. They're always trying to lock you into overpriced contracts. With Straight Talk Wireless, there are no contracts. It runs on America's best network, same as the big carriers, but you save up to 50%. $45 a month gets you the unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data, then 2G. You might miss sports, but don't play games, you'll lose. Straight Talk Wireless. No contracts, no compromise.
Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN690, a Cox Media Group station. Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jags.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jags on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
I think it starts the clock on Dak's leverage. He's got the leverage in my mind because there aren't many quarterbacks that wind up with the franchise tag. There aren't many quarterbacks that wind up playing on a franchise tag. He's scheduled to make $31.4 million this season. If the two sides cannot get a long-term deal worked out by July 15th and Dak continues to insist he wants a 4-year deal, the Cowboys want a 5-year deal, neither side willing to budge, and they have to franchise him again next year when the cap could be flat or down due to the lack of attendance and the lower revenues. That means his franchise figure for next year will be $37.7 million. That could be crippling to a Cowboys cap.
Dak Prescott, listen, either way you look at it, he's about to be a very rich man. You know how I feel about the franchise tag. I think it's a sign of disrespect from teams. Now, I get it. It's in the CBA. Every NFL team can do it. Sometimes they do it because they save the bottom dollar. Sometimes they do it because they don't want to lose their player. I get it, man. And you know what? And in terms of competitiveness, it's a very big tool to use. So I get it. I mean, I don't hate on it. I'm not a fan of it. Obviously, I want players to get paid. But if you're Dak Prescott and you get franchise tag for this year, I'll be honest with you, man. I don't feel sorry for you. I understand the goal is to get that long-term deal no matter what team you play on, no matter what position you play. But if we're talking $31 million this year for a franchise tag, well, then Dak Prescott, man, you enjoy your time. Because guess what? If you do get franchise tagged, and those Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones doesn't give you what you want, oof, you're going to have all the leverage. And this is what Adam Schefter was saying. Because keep in mind, if Dak Prescott plays out the franchise tag the very first year, and keep in mind he's got to stay healthy, so knock on wood for Dak Prescott. But if he stays healthy, it's going to get nothing but ugly that next year then. Because what do you do if you're Jerry Jones? Do you give him the $37 million of a second franchise tag, or do you finally listen to the man and try to pay him what he's worth? Simple as that. So if I know Jerry Jones, I think he's going to try to lock something up before the season starts. I know there's a period that he has to get to, or else I think it's a guaranteed franchise tag for Dak Prescott. So time is of the essence right now, especially with the pandemic and the environment right now with the landscape. But with that being said, Dak Prescott has all the power. And it's funny because Jerry Jones, the guy who's used to having all the power, now maybe just took 2 steps back because he had no choice but to franchise tag Dak Prescott. So obviously something to keep track of here with Jerry Jones. And also, too, players still talking about Jerry Jones in terms of where has he been on the whole, George Floyd thing? Where's he been on the whole players, taking a stand kind of thing? Jerry Jones hasn't said a word. And he's usually the owner that's, the most talkative. So once again, players are still trying to hold that guy accountable. And I think it speaks volumes, right? Because as far as I look at it, I think Jerry Jones has some opinions on what's transpiring right now with the NFL and players threatening to take a knee. And to be fair, I think what Jerry Jones has to say right now probably isn't the most positive kind of stuff that's going to probably make him look like he's in the best of light. So with that being said, he's choosing to be silent, which if that is the case, probably a smart move on his part. But once again, how long until the players, demand that Jerry Jones says something? Time will tell. Jaguars sleepers, Kuz. We talk about Chenault a lot on this show, as we should. When you're a wide receiver and you can bend or you can squat over 550 pounds, well then congratulations. I'm a big fan of yours. Off the get-go, okay? Big Chenault guy right off the get-go. Obviously, C.J. Henderson getting some love. Obviously, Chason. And by the way, Kuz, during the break, Kayvon Chason showed you his Twitter page. Showed you the picture. If you haven't seen the picture of Chason on Twitter, first of all, let me go ahead and apologize to Chason right off the get-go. Because I called you a speed rusher. I said you had one of the best first steps at the combine. I think that you're going to use a great job of that club to rip and use your speed to your advantage. I'm sorry, sir. I had no idea, and once again, I say this with all due respect, but I had no idea that you had the body of a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. I didn't know that when you're posting pictures with your shirt off, you look like Mike Allstott wearing pants. That's how absolutely yoked Chason is. And I had no idea, man. Like, I saw the footage of him in college. I'm thinking, okay, kind of on the skinnier side, kind of that leaner frame, kind of that tweener. Let's go. Well, Chason, 4 days ago, posted a picture on Twitter with the phrase, "Every time they told me that I couldn't, that just woke a menace." And then hashtag swiper still swiping. And then a picture of a fox, which I assume
Dora the Explorer.
Big Dora the Explorer guy. Okay. All right. And I can't wait to talk to him about that because obviously he's a big fan of Dora the Explorer.
The Jags can work with that.
we can all work with that. Have you seen the live action movie?
Can you imagine that though? Like anytime he does a big play or gets a turnover or something, it's a swiper no swipe.
Hey, guess what? If that's the case, Kuz, are you going to tell him it's wrong? Are you going to walk up to Chason and go,
nope.
Hey, you know what? Dora the Explorer is your favorite show. I'm sure you celebrated the live-action movie.
No.
Are you going to make fun of him for it?
No.
Not after that picture, are you?
No, I'm going to say, hey, I'm going to check out Dora the Explorer.
Exactly. You're going to call him sir and says, I'll get back to you, and I'll give you my recommendations of new movies to watch. Enough said, okay? You're not going to question his TV show watching abilities or his movie his preferences. Simple as that. But my point is, Kuz, with Chason, man, he's intriguing. We've been talking about him the entire time, right? But who are the sleepers out there? Who are the guys right now that are kind of forgotten about a little bit on the Jacksonville Jaguars, okay? Who are the guys right now that I can see playing a big part in this team going forward? And I got 3 of them. And I got 3 guys, and keep in mind, these are just under-the-radar guys. Not saying they're even going to make a team yet, but I'm just saying that these are 3 guys right now that I feel like no one's really talking about that could have some big contributions to the Jacksonville Jaguars going forward. First guy on my list, 3 Jacksonville Jaguars sleepers. Number 1, and he's definitely the tallest guy on the list, let's just say that. 6'6", 221 pounds, from the great state of Texas, Colin Johnson. It's crazy, right? Because we're talking about Shenault right now, and I get it, man. You should feel excited for Shenault. Everyone thinks that Shenault was a steal of the draft. If that guy can stay healthy, he can do so many things, especially in a Jay Gruden offense that uses a lot of different formations and gets everybody the ball. And keep in mind, Jay Gruden has used the Wildcat in the past, so he's open to adapting things. Shenault can do it all. So, yeah, I'm obviously excited for Shenault, as anybody else should be. And I feel like he's getting all the shine right now. Colin Johnson goes in later rounds. I understand. And right now, in terms of the wide receiver room, you're talking about Chris Conley, D.D. Westbrook, DJ Chark, Keelan Cole. It's a pretty deep wide receiver room right now. But I always say this. Whether you're a defensive end, a linebacker, or a wide receiver, you can't teach height. You can teach the ability to run routes. You can teach the ability to get in and out of your breaks. You can try to improve your ability to catch the ball, but you cannot teach being 6'6". You either have that or you don't. And Colin Johnson, obviously, he has that. I remember all the hype. We're talking about his highlight film from Texas, and people were excited. And for whatever reason right now, I feel like the Colin Johnson hype, it's limited. It's just not there. So I'm here to try to bring it up a little more from the ashes because let's be honest. Right now, the way the roster looks, the Jacksonville Jaguars, you have Tyler Eifert. Tyler Eifert could be a great red zone target, something that we didn't really see a lot last year from the Jacksonville Jaguars. We've talked about it ad nauseum. John DeFilippo, the struggles in the red zone. It was an absolute nightmare. Where if the Jaguars didn't break off a 30-yard touchdown, assume they got inside the 20-yard line, you were nervous because, here comes a field goal. It's going to be a Josh Lambo type of day in the red zone, if you will. Well, now you add a guy with Tyler Eifert, all right? A big-bodied guy down the center of the field who can be a difference maker, who's shown it in the past. But once again, with Tyler Eifert, it does stem with the injury history a little bit. You have Josh Oliver, but what do we know about Josh Oliver? Not much right now. So my point is that we're relying on some guys right now that are going to have some question marks. When you get to the red zone, Gruden loves to get those tall guys involved, man. Okay? Whether it was Terrell Pryor, whether it's obviously Jordan Reed when he was healthy, he likes to throw to the big guy because it's such an advantage. And I just think Colin Johnson right now is getting slept on in what he can do, especially in the red zone. Now, I understand. Of course, when you're a rookie making that transition from college to the pros, there's going to be some adjustment periods, especially at the wide receiver position, man, right? Because now you're going to have cornerbacks jam you on the line of scrimmage. You're going to have cornerbacks keep up with you the entire time, so you have to rely more on your footwork, more of your get-off, and all those things. I understand that. But all I'm saying is when it's 3rd and 3, and you're at the goal line right now, and you have one-on-one coverage with Colin Johnson, we saw it in his highlight video, throw it up, let that big man go get it, and let's see what he's got. Also a pretty cool follow on YouTube if you guys aren't following him. Guy is very savvy in terms of how to promote himself on social media. So Colin Johnson, my number 1 sleeper right now for the Jacksonville Jaguars. My number 2 sleeper. This guy comes from the defensive line / outside linebacking core because I'm not really sure what type of defense the Jaguars are playing this year. If Todd Wash wants to tell me, send me a DM, that'd be fantastic because it would make my job a lot easier. But what we have to go off of right now is that we're going to see some things that we saw last year from the Jaguars defense, and we're going to see some new wrinkles. That's it, man. 3-4. They're saying no. I'm going to triple down because I've doubled down already, and I'm going to triple down one more time and say I predict a 3-4 under. Take it for what you want. Maybe I don't have a clue what I'm talking about, but I just foresee a 3-4 under defense. And if you're not sure what that means, check back one of our previous shows. I posted it. It's all over my timeline. With that being said, though, there's a guy, I think, at the depth spot right now who's sitting 4th. Actually, he's probably 3rd or 4th right now in terms of depth. And listen, I've been in those positions before. I've sat third and fourth on the depth chart in Chicago, and it is not a fun place to be, okay? Every little mistake that you make is quantified to the point where you're probably going to get cut, and that's going to be the ball game, folks, okay? But this guy, I feel like, can have a resurgence in his career. And it's not even necessarily really a resurgence. It's just the fact that he's always kind of been in the wrong spot at the wrong time in what his skill set is and what he's able to do on the defensive line. That player's name is Cassius Marsh. Okay, now, am I a little biased because Cassius Marsh seems to be a little bit of a geek? He loves Magic the Gathering, which I never really got into, but I respect the heck out of it. Am I a little biased towards Cassius Marsh because he seems like he's got a lot of cool tattoos and he seems like a guy who just kind of marches to the beat of his own drum, or maybe marches to his own orchestra, if you will? Maybe I'm a little biased because of that. But I think with what Cassius Marsh can do right now in terms of being on that Jaguars defense is a lot, because this is a guy who has played a lot of different positions. He's played a 3-4 defensive end. He's played a 4-3 defensive end. He's played a 3-4 outside linebacker, okay? This guy's played in Seattle. He's played in San Francisco, and he's played in Arizona, okay? I think Cassius Marsh, and remember, keep in mind right now, is he going to beat out Josh Allen? Obviously not. Is he going to beat out Yannick Ngakoue? Obviously not. Is he going to beat out Chase on? Obviously not. But the way defensive lines work is that it's all about rotation, man. Okay? It's all about getting the fresh bodies in and rotating and rotating. So with that being said, I think Marsh can solidify himself on special teams. And then when his name is called rushing the passer, I think he's going to do a great job of that. Because if there was a question mark of Cassius Marsh coming out, of Seattle or leaving San Francisco or Arizona, it all seems to be along the same lines as that he's not the best in the run game. But if you bring him in as a pass rusher on those third downs, just to spell out Josh Allen, just to spell out Yannick Ngakoue, and you turn that guy loose, I think he's got something special there. So Cassius Marsh is my 2 sleeper pick right now of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Number 3, not much of a sleeper, if you will, because he's probably the biggest free agent signing outside of Joe Schobert. But he's a guy that no one's really talking about. And to me, this is the guy that has to have a better season on the entire defensive line, or it's going to all fall apart. Okay? Keep in mind, you lose Calais Campbell, a leader of the team, a staple, a pillar, team captain, former All-Pro, Pro Bowler, best guy against the run last year, according to Pro Football Focus. You lose Calais Campbell to Baltimore, and you bring in a guy by the name of Rodney Gunter to replace him. Now, I get it, man. Like, we've all talked about Rodney Gunter. Obviously, 3 years, $18 million is nothing to shake a stick at. There's a reason why the Jacksonville Jaguars spent that much money on him, because they feel like he's going to be one of the guys going forward. I get that. But in the realm of talking about Josh Allen right now and talking about Chase on and talking about maybe Yannick Ngakoue playing, we seem to forget about Rodney Gunter, okay? And when we talk about Rodney Gunter, this is why, in my opinion, he's the most important piece right now in that defense. Regardless of what the Jacksonville Jaguars play, if it's a 4-3 or a 3-4 defense, I really don't care at this point. We'll find out when we find out. But what they're going to have to ask Rodney Gunter to do is be the absolute rock in the run game, because that was missing last year, if you're not forgetting. Right? Because what we talk about, Marcel Darius gets hurt, and all of a sudden the wheels just fall off that defensive line, and you saw Christian McCaffrey, you saw Carlos Hyde, you saw running back after running back have a field day with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Given everything right now with the pandemic, of how much new wrinkles they throw in, is it going to mirror last season? We'll see. But all I know is that you need a solid anchor and you need a solid guy at the 3 technique spot to make sure that your linebackers are clean, number 1, and number 2, when there's plays in the backfield to make, he's going to make them. And don't forget as well, if the Jaguars are in a base defense, a big reason why Yannick Ngakoue had success last year and a big reason why Josh Allen had success last year was because the threat of Calais Campbell in the middle. I don't care how old Calais Campbell is. I don't care how he looks in his pass rush game last year. Calais Campbell is still a threat, and he is still a game wrecker. And I guarantee offensive lines and offensive coordinators had to game plan for Calais Campbell. So when you do that, when you have to take notice of Calais Campbell, what does that do? That opens up the outside. That opened up Josh Allen. That opened up Yannick Ngakoue. Calais Campbell's gone now, okay? So the question has to be, can Rodney Gunter step up and command a presence in the pass rush game? Because if he doesn't, it's like a house of cards. If Rodney Gunter doesn't become a game wrecker in the pass game of the 3 technique, then all of a sudden teams will start double-teaming Josh Allen. They'll start double-teaming Yannick Ngakoue, and they'll start double-teaming Chason. And that's the last thing you want to do, okay? Now, granted, Josh Allen going forward, probably a better player than he was last year. Yannick Ngakoue, if he's still in Jacksonville, we'll see. But obviously he's got a lot to prove, and he's got money to make. And Chason shows everything good that you're supposed to do as a pass rusher coming out of college. But I'm just saying, if the activity and if the game planning is taken away from Gunter because he's not performing well, it's going to spell issues, I think, for the outside players of the defensive end. So that, to me, is why Rodney Gunter might be the most important player on that defensive line. Yes, Josh Allen's a great player. He's probably going to be good this up-and-coming season. Yes, Yannick Ngakoue is a great player. Yes, Chason can be a great player. But if you don't have a bona fide 3 technique to take away some of that pressure, you got issues, man, okay? There's a reason why Dante Fowler had a breakout season last year. Guy by the name of Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald, the best 3 technique in the NFL, and you can't tell me any differently. Why do you think Clay Matthews had 10-something sacks last year? You think it's just a coincidence that players go to the Rams and play with Aaron Donald, and all of a sudden they have career numbers in sacks? Absolutely not. It's because teams have to adjust for Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald rushing the passer from a 3 technique is a problem. He's a game wrecker. Calais Campbell does the exact same thing. He's a game wrecker. So that's why I'm saying one final time. My last sleeper of the Jacksonville Jaguars right now, a guy that needs to be talked about a lot because there's a lot riding on this guy's shoulders, not only from the run game, but also the passing game, is a guy by the name of Rodney Gunter. And that's been your 3 Jaguars sleepers. Oh, turn it back on. Oh, and by the way, hey, Chason, with all due respect, pending I get to interview you this year or something like that, but I need to get on your trap workout, man, because I want to have traps like that. I want to have traps like Mike Allstott rocking that neck roll, because right now my traps are locking. Oh, and by the way, Kuz, bigger flex. Running with your shirt off or lifting weights with your shirt off?
Definitely lifting.
Right?
Especially now because that's just gross, and with coronavirus and everything.
Really not socially acceptable. Now, to be fair, I've done both, okay? Not proud of it. Hey, the gym gets hot sometimes, man, okay? I'm not the YMCA. Stop the music real quick. Okay, let me clear something up.
No, because, wait, do you do it at the Y? Because,
no, okay. Hey, that's illegal, homie, okay? When I used to train, for an NFL season, I'd go to the spot where all NFL players worked out, and yeah, I had my shirt off because it was 90 degrees with no air conditioning in there, okay? So with that being said...
if it's a like home gym and stuff like that, fine. I've noticed I don't like working out with my shirt off in general because I feel a little more self-conscious about myself doing like ab workouts and stuff, and everything's all bunched together, you know?
Dude, just take away those mirrors. And by the way, is there anything worse, though, when then you're doing abs with your shirt off, you can feel your back sticking to the floor a little bit, and it rolls up? Oh, I know.
No. It like suctions.
Yeah, it suctions. I know. It's science.
I put a tweet out about that once, and like 15 people responded like, nah, dude, that never happens to me. And I was like, oh, maybe I'm just fat or something.
Listen, my apologies to our advertisers out there, but I had to clear this up real quick. Yes, I have lifted weights without my shirt on before, but it was more out of necessity than it was me coming across as a bro.
The necessity to flex on everyone.
Exactly. But if you're like Chason, man, and you got traps like that, dude, do whatever you want to do. I ain't going to tell you differently. Live your life. Now, Kuz, we can go on a break. Glad I got that cleared up. Thank you.
Action Sports Jax with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 72, but it will be hot and humid on Tuesday with partly sunny skies and widely scattered afternoon showers and thunderstorms with highs in the lower 90s. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Alyssa Pedjeg.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds, with the guaranteed lowest diamond prices in North Florida. Beard's Diamonds in the St. John's Town Center.
We all know Beard's Diamonds has the best price and best selection, but the perks that come after the sale set Beard's Diamonds light years ahead of the competition. Beard's offers unprecedented lifetime warranty on all items, no matter the purchase price.
Our promise to you is to stay committed.
That's been second generation at Beard's Diamonds.
It's not in our blood just to sell you something and forget you. That's not who we are or what we practice.
Beard's Diamonds lifetime warranty is 100% free. Ring sizing?
Free.
Rhodium plating?
Free.
Appraisal?
Free.
Lifetime upgrades?
Free.
Ring cleaning?
Free.
Stone replacement?
It's all free. When you choose Beards, that makes us want to go over and beyond for you. We have 3 jewelers here daily to take care of your needs, and all of the work is done inside the store. Nothing leaves the building unless it's with you.
Beards Diamonds. Open 7 days a week in the St. John's Town Center or at beardsdiamonds.com.
I call them 3 shirt days. That's when the summer heat in Jacksonville just sizzles. It's relentless, and you want to be prepared for it. Bold City Heating and Air will help you do that. Nothing worse than sweating in your own home and wondering, hey, what happened to the AC? We've been there before. Your air conditioning unit needs to be ready for the heat. It might need to get serviced. The hot weather is here, and Bold City Heating and Air is here for you, just like they have been for my family the last couple of years. Right now, it's $25 off an annual maintenance. Bold City will thoroughly service, clean, and test your system to ensure it is working efficiently. Then you'll be comfortable this summer, all summer. After the $25 off, it's just $70. Book your maintenance service now and save. Save now, beat the heat. Visit boldcityac.com or call 904-379-1648 to schedule. Mirza and his staff are ready to take care of you and your family. Be bold and beat the heat and make it a one-shirt day, even in the summer heat. Go to boldcityac.com.
As the major nonprofit safety net organization in Nassau County, Barnabas Center has been on the front lines throughout the pandemic, providing critical assistance to those in need of food, financial assistance, medical and dental care, and mental health services. Barnabas thanks its many supporters that have given hope to thousands of struggling individuals and families. For information and to support Barnabas, visit barnabasnassau.org. That's barnabasnassau.org.
Call Zero Res. They are offering to clean and protect every surface in your home for 25% off. Also nominate a family in need, and Zero Res will clean the carpets in one home each day for absolutely free. Zero Res spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
Too often, senior citizens face struggles, from healthcare concerns to financial issues to loneliness. Get support for yourself or your loved one by calling Elder Source's free helpline at 1-888-242-4464 today.
Now more than ever, you need the open road. Windows down, wind in your hair, pure freedom. Then go see our friends over at Arlington Toyota, because their massive construction sale was made to put you behind the wheel today. Think you can't afford a new ride? Think again. At Arlington, you choose 0 down with low payments or no payments until 2021. Get into Arlington today, where you can drive away in a new Toyota Corolla for $199 a month with 0 down or no payments till 2021. That's a pre-owned Corolla for $199 down with 0 down or no payments until 2021. How about a Toyota Camry for $249 a month with 0 down or no payments till 2021? That's a pre-owned Camry for $249 a month with nothing down or no payments till 2021. Plus, with Arlington's Credit for Everyone program, if your Beacon score is from 450 to 850, Arlington's getting almost everyone approved. And you get Arlington's 30-day exchange policy on any vehicle you purchase. As always, your safety is Arlington's priority. Go see them today, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit Arlington Toyota /June offers for full details.
After a long day, having my dogs greet me at the door with their silly smiles and wagging tails makes me happy. I want to keep that joy with me for years to come. That's why I trust Forever Vets Animal Hospital to keep my pets healthy. Forever Vets was voted 2019's best vet in Jacksonville Magazine's Readers Poll, and it's easy to see why. The affordable wellness plans are tailored to meet all of your pets' changing needs as they grow. Open 7 days a week, Forever Vets friendly staff is available to treat you and your pet with care. They combine extended hours with online booking to allow you to give your pet quality care while accommodating your schedule. Go online to forevervets.com to find which of their 9 locations is nearest you. And don't forget their newest location in Bartram Market. Forever Vets Animal Hospital, keeping your pets happy and healthy forever.
Response to Diamonds Direct's incredible free finance offer has been amazing. People are driving for hours to take advantage of 5 years zero-interest financing with nothing down. But listen, these are the final days. This aggressive offer ends on June 30th and will not be extended. So don't wait another minute. Get to Diamonds Direct now. Pick any item, get the unbeatable price Diamonds Direct is known for, pay nothing down, and spread your payments over 5 years without paying a dime in interest. It's the smartest way to buy, and it makes everything more affordable. An $8,000 designer engagement ring is just $134 a month. You can even finance the sales tax. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, bands, colored gemstone jewelry, one-of-a-kind designer pieces. Everything's included. But there's one catch. This is a limited time offer and it ends Thursday, June 30th on approved credit. 5 years, zero interest, nothing down, nothing held back. Exclusively at Diamonds Direct.
Do you hear something in the attic?
Where do you want to eat tonight?
Why won't the lights work?
Where should I take my car for engine work?
Do you think I need to get this spot checked out?
Where did these bugs come from?
When are we going to paint the house?
These and hundreds of other questions are still being asked daily. Will the answer be your business or your competitors? Don't leave it to chance. Let Cox Media Group Jacksonville make you the answer to their questions. Contact us at 245-8732 or email buildjax@cmg.com and let's build Jax.
This is Pastor Abraham Lincoln Washington, and it's time for the truth. Just because they said it about you doesn't mean it's true. But if you believe it yourself, then it was always you. You can't allow people to define you. You have the final say. So say what you really know about you, and it'll happen. This has been Pastor Abraham Lincoln Washington, and the truth will make you free.
Hey everybody, this is Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jax on ESPN690. Hope you catch the show Monday through Friday from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. But if you can't catch it, or if you want to go back and listen again, check out the Action Sports Jax on ESPN690 podcast. Just search ESPN690 in your podcast app.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30. Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN690 and ESPN690.com.
When he was in his prime, I mean, I was as much, if I were a defense coordinator, I was as much afraid of his feet than anything. And he could throw well enough that he could beat you in that regards too. So I think he's still a very dangerous player. It's just a matter of where his head is.
That was Brett Favre on Colin Kaepernick, right? Goose? Yeah. Another interesting topic too that Brett Favre brought up was how he thinks when it's all said and done that Colin Kaepernick will be remembered as a hero for, choosing to take the knee, during the national anthem and things like that. And I'll be honest with you, man, okay? If we're being 100% transparent right now, and take the politics out of it, but if you are a super conservative in Wisconsin right now, you're probably having the past couple, probably the worst 3 months of your life because Jordan Love gets drafted for Aaron Rodgers. J.J. Watt comes out and says that he's going to support Colin Kaepernick and take the knee. And now you have literally the Pope of Wisconsin and Brett Favre having Colin Kaepernick's back. If you're not on team take a knee right now, and once again, not saying that's right. All I'm saying is call it like I see it. If you're in Wisconsin right now and you're not on team take a knee, you guys are taking some big losses. You guys are struggling right now. And trust me, I see it on Facebook accounts. I see it on my friends' accounts. I see it on a lot of accounts. People do not know what to do with themselves right now. Because keep in mind who we're talking about. We're talking about J.J. Watt, one of Wisconsin's favorite sons, and we're talking about the Pope of Wisconsin in Brett Favre. But listen, we talk about, for the movement, for the cause, it takes all shapes, sizes, and colors. And props to Brett Favre for speaking his mind. Maybe you agree with it, maybe you don't, but guess what? The guy is speaking his mind. So, obviously, something to keep a track on is what's going to happen with Colin Kaepernick now in the next couple weeks or so. Will he start to get those workouts in? What's it going to look like? Who's he favored to go to? But lo and behold, I do expect Colin Kaepernick to get a workout here when the NFL season starts back up. Another bad look for people right now is a man by the name of Dallas Goedert of the Philadelphia Eagles. Not sure if you guys have seen the story revolving Dallas Goedert, former South Dakota State Jackrabbit, if I'm not mistaken. Shout out to South Dakota State, home of Hobo Days for their homecoming, by the way. I remember when I think we had Jason Fitz talk about that in College Game Day when they had it at South Dakota State. They had this thing called Hobo Days where everyone just literally dresses up like a homeless person. Now, we're in 2020. Things are getting brought to light. Is Hobo Days going to still be a thing in the next year or so? I have no idea. But if you have some free time, check out South Dakota State's Hobo Days and see how they get down. That was the biggest recruiting pitch that they used for me when I was getting recruited to go play for South Dakota State, is we got Hobo Days. You're going to love it. Okay. But anyway, so Dallas Goedert back home in South Dakota at a bar called The Zoo, of all places. Now, if you find yourself in a bar called The Zoo and it's 1 o'clock in the morning, let's be honest with ourselves real quick. Probably nothing's good is going to come of it. But who am I to joke around? Who am I to judge people? Because if you've ever come in contact with me at Jacksonville Beach, you saw me every single night, basically, during the offseason when I was hanging out there. So I'm not going to judge anybody by what they do with their offseason. But I'm just saying, nothing good can happen past midnight. So Dallas Goedert gets sucker punched. The story comes out, and that's all we know. He was involved in a bar altercation. Well, a few days later, and I saw this on Sunday, I believe, a friend supposedly gets hold of the video from the owner, and the friend leaks out the video of Dallas Goedert getting knocked out. First question is, what kind of friend leaks out the video of you getting knocked out? That's not a good friend. Listen, if I get knocked out in a bar, the last thing I expect my best friends to do is put that video for the whole world to see, okay? Number one. Number two, who's sucker? Like what? And we don't know what really stemmed from this. And thank gosh that Dallas Goedert is okay. Now, he said he didn't have any kind of injuries whatsoever. But if you watch the video, the guy gets knocked out cold. So that's an injury. That's called a concussion. I
think my friends would definitely go get the video. And then in the inner circle, it would be thrown around a bunch.
In the inner circle. But TMZ got a hold of it, man. You know, once TMZ gets the grubby paws all over it, it's game over.
How much money? Okay, let me ask you this. How much money would it cost? Like, okay, so say this situation happens to you and your friends.
Yeah.
And TMZ comes to you and they're like, $10,000 to give us the video.
Yeah.
Are you giving them the video?
Am I going to give the video to TMZ? No.
Yeah, for $10,000.
Well, listen, and I told this story before. TMZ and myself, we have a history together.
Right. So it doesn't have to be them
specifically. It's not going to be TMZ. It's going to be somebody else.
Okay, say it's a different site.
No, man. Yeah, listen.
50?
No. Come on now. $50,000. No, man. Listen, if my friend doesn't want it out, then I'm not going to put it out. Simple as that. And the worst part of this whole story is that the title of when this news got announced that Dallas Goedert got in a bar fight and got knocked out is Florida Man Assaults Dallas Goedert. You couldn't just say the guy's name. So supposedly this guy, I'm not sure where in Florida he was from, but I think he was on business in South Dakota. And of course they refer to him as Florida Man. So now you're making the state of Florida look bad, as if we don't need any more help as it is right now, okay? Things are crazy right now in Florida, man, all right? The last thing we need is a random punching Dallas Goedert in the middle of the bar and knocking him unconscious. Needless to say, though, we'll keep track with what happens with Dallas Goedert. Hopefully he's okay. But once again, man, it's a scary situation when you get knocked unconscious like that, because he was inches away from literally not, hitting his head on the concrete on a bar stool. And when we talk about that, you're talking about some serious problems, man, some serious injuries. So thankfully, all that came of it was just, obviously concussion and getting knocked out. But let's be honest, that's bad enough as it is. We kind of opened the show today a little bit talking about NASCAR, which is probably the first time in the history of our show we talked about stock car racing and things like that. But it was warranted. It was warranted because of a guy by the name of Bubba Wallace, the only black driver right now on the NASCAR circuit, is racing today. And the previous night on Sunday, race gets canceled, finds a noose in his garage, and you can obviously think of what the connotations mean with that. And now he's out there racing, trying to do his thing. He was led by all the NASCAR drivers before the race started, and they put him at the pole position and essentially pushed his car to first place, basically. And then he took a giant selfie and said, "We're all in this together." And I thought it was a really cool photo. I thought it was a really cool gesture of NASCAR and the drivers, the people that work for them. And I hope that whoever had the audacity to put the noose in his garage gets found out. Kuz, do we have an update of how Bubba Wallace and how that whole Talladega race is going right now? Is it still happening, or is it getting rained out?
Yeah, no, it's happening right now. It looks like Kyle Busch is in the lead, and I don't see Bubba's name on here right now, but the last I saw was he was in 20th.
Okay.
But that's now Denny Hamlin's in 20th right now. So
okay. Oh, cool.
Keeping an eye on it. It is live right now, so.
Keep an eye on it, dude. And that's one of those things. Can you imagine if that dude won? Can you imagine if Bubba Wallace won that race? Just
It'd be a wild story.
In terms of, dude, let's be honest. If he wins that race, that's all we're talking about tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure.
That's all it's going to be trending on Twitter, I feel like, is that story. So it's something to keep track of, obviously. It's kind of blurring the lines right now of sports and society. And there's a lot of instances going on like this right now. We've talked about before the whole Gator bait chant. What's going to become of that? The SEC has kind of called out the state of Mississippi and said, listen, you guys either change your flag, because fun fact about Mississippi, is the fact that the Confederate flag is still in the state flag of Mississippi. And regardless of what you think about that, the SEC has come out and said that if Mississippi does not indeed change that flag, they are going to take all their SEC championships out of Mississippi. So whether it's, softball, I'm not sure how it works for sports like volleyball and things like that, basketball, but needless to say, the SEC commissioner has been very adamant about this, saying that if that flag still is a thing, there will be no SEC championships in the state of Mississippi. So it's crazy from the fact that we keep hearing these stories on a daily basis now, more things coming forward. And regardless of what you think about it, like I told Brent, I think this was on last Thursday or Friday, the times they are changing. More closer to home right now, there's a review going on with Doak Campbell Stadium. The term Doak Campbell, the gentleman, is tied to some pretty bad stuff, once again, in terms of the racial injustice and things like that. So a former player has come forward from Florida State and said it's time to change the name of where the Florida State Seminoles played their football games. And it's time to rename Doak Campbell Stadium. So that's another story that's closer to home to see what happens with it, man. And these stories can be found everywhere right now. And once again, I guess it begs the question of, where do you draw the line? How much of it is, how far back do you go to point something out? But as long as people keep bringing these things to light, and as long as people keep pulling these receipts and we keep learning our history, man, the only way to move on and thrive is to learn from our history. So if that means that the name Doak Campbell offends some people, and, once again, you pull the football players on that team, well, then I think you do it. Because keep in mind, if you're a Florida State Seminole fan, I understand. Doak Campbell Stadium, something that I'm sure you're used to your entire life growing up to, and I understand that. And once again, we talk about tradition a little bit, and the traditions of college football, the traditions of just growing up. I get it. I understand it. I was raised with traditions myself. But I think if you're a Florida State Seminole fan, or if you're a Florida Gator fan, talking about the Gator bait chant, you have to wonder, what's this going to look like in 5 to 6 years? And what side of history is this stuff going to be on if you choose to keep it? Because we always talk about right now the modern athlete. The modern athlete that is hyper aware, that always asks the questions why, and is not afraid to speak their opinions. This is the modern era athlete, no matter what sport you pick. That's the way it is. Not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong, but I'm telling you that's the way it is. And if that's the way it is, and you still have names like Doak Campbell Stadium, and you still use the Gator bait chant, regardless if you think it's right or not, you have to ask yourself, how is that going to affect you in recruiting? How is that going to affect black families trying to send their kids somewhere and being like, oh, I don't know how I feel about them still using the Gator chant. I don't know how I feel about you playing in Doak Campbell Stadium. Because you always preach, if you're a college coach, that your job is to take care of those kids. You sit in those, you sit on those tables and you talk to the parents and you look those parents in the eye and say, I'm going to take care of your kid. He's going to be in good hands and I'm going to treat him like he's one of my own. I sat through tons of those meetings. I sat through tons of those things on the phone. So with that being said, I guess you have to ask the question. If you're a coach and you're at Florida State, for instance, and you're trying to recruit a player to play for the Seminoles, the once storied Florida State Seminoles, who have kind of taken a beating lately, who have kind of had their names dragged through the mud a little bit, who have been kind of on the bottom of the ACC, and you're trying to bring everybody back. If you're bringing that recruit in there and you say, all right, son, can you picture, you playing here? Can you see your name on the scoreboard? Here's your jersey with your name on it. And you're doing all the old tricks that recruiters do to try to get that kid to come there. And then all of a sudden, part of that dialogue is going to have to be, can you picture yourself playing at Doak Campbell Stadium? And I guarantee that kid that's going there is going to know the connotation with Doak Campbell, okay? Because that's the world that we live in now. And once again, not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying that's the way it is. So when we talk about college football being the ultimate, who's who of recruiting, the ultimate of all it takes is one player here, one 5-star player here to put you over the top to be a successful program, man. In my eyes, if you're a president or if you're a head coach, you have to do your due diligence and make sure that every one of your players feels safe on that campus and doesn't have any kind of negative connotations. And you can go ahead and call those players soft if you want to, but then don't call them soft if they stop winning games, all right? Don't call them soft if they stop going there and they go to other schools. I'm just saying, if you're more worried about the wins and losses than you are about the players' well-beings, I'm just saying you better consider that as well, okay? Because I understand. Sports, football, basketball, name it, there's more important things than winning and losing, and I understand that. And right now we're in a time and we're in a precedent where everything's being brought to light. Our history is being learned, and we're seeing that there's some pretty messed up things that have happened in the past. And I think, once again, if our past is going to be our teacher and our only way to grow, it's to have sympathy, and it's to take care of that next generation. So once again, I'm going to propose the same thing that Florida State does is the same thing that the Florida Gators do. You take a poll in that locker room of the current players. I don't care what past Florida State alumni think of renaming Doak Campbell Stadium, whether they're for it or against it, man, because they're so close to it. And once again, it's bigger than Florida State, okay? It's bigger than the Florida Gators. This is a global thing right now, at least what's happening in our country. Okay, so with that being said, ask the players in that stadium. And if the players in that stadium don't have a problem walking into play on a field that's named after Doak Campbell, then so be it. If those Florida Gator players don't have a problem with the connotation of Gator bait, then so be it. But worry about the players in that locker room and the players on the field right now. And I understand there is so much happening with COVID-19 and the landscape of college sports right now. This is important. So get the players' perspective. Have the conversations. We always preach about we have to have the dialogue. We have to have those uncomfortable conversations. Well, Doak Campbell Stadium, Gator Bait, uncomfortable conversations. But they need to be had. Get the current players' opinions and then go from there.
We had someone write in with a question.
Yeah.
Not regarding that, obviously, but Raymond asks about the Jaguars.
Sure, let's hear
it. His question is, do you think that the Rams finish with a worse record than the Jags next year?
Ooh, going off the grid a little bit. This sounds like another Brent Martineau, Austin Lane bet special. Do I think the Rams have a better record than the Jaguars? Well, obviously, if you're a Jaguars fan, you want the Rams to have a horrible record because then you get the better draft pick when you traded Jalen Ramsey. Well, I'm sorry, what was the guy's name again? Raymond. Great question. We talk about a big year for Gardner Minshew. It might be equally even a bigger year this year for Sean McVay. Because this year we get to find out if Sean McVay is indeed the offensive genius that everyone has pointed him out to be the past couple years, or we get to find out if Sean McVay was the flash in the pan, had a good caliber set of rosters, and now he's kind of back to the doldrums, if you will, of mediocrity. If I'm being truthful, I think the Rams have a far better record than the Jacksonville Jaguars this year for a couple reasons. I think the Rams offense this year going forward now, you still have guys like Cooper Kupp. You still have guys like Reynolds. Yes, you did lose Brandon Cooks, but I think with where the Rams are going to go right now, and we talked about Florida State with a guy like Cam Akers, I think you're going to see a more sound and safe LA Rams team. I think you're going to see a Rams team that actually wants to try to pound the rock a little more first and then set up play action. You saw glimpses of it last year when they used their 2 tight end sets. We were talking about 2 tight end sets for the Los Angeles Rams 2 years ago at the Super Bowl, man. It was all about bunch formation, get everybody involved. Todd Gurley, here you go. Spread formation, enjoy it. Those days are gone now. Todd Gurley, gone. Brandon Cooks, gone. 2 tight end sets. What's up? So I think with the combination of being a little more conservative, not making mistakes, and obviously having a defensive line that's anchored by a guy by the name of Aaron Donald. And let's be honest, man, you still have Jalen Ramsey back there, who's a hell of a player, regardless of what you think about him as a person. I think the Rams will indeed have a better record than the Jacksonville Jaguars this year. But you can make an argument, though, in terms of quarterback play. Who's going to play better, Jared Goff or Gardner Minshew? I'll tell you what, though, one guy's making buku bucks, and the other guy, well, the other guy's just minding his own business, taking RV trips and getting ready for the NFL season. Take your pick, man. Woo, Coos, we survived, man. One more day, then it's summer break, baby. But don't get it twisted. We're not going to have feet in the parking lot tomorrow, Coos. I want you to come in here bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and focused, ready to roll.
Listen, you might be going on vacation, but I still got a full week.
Well, it sucks to be you then. I'm going to come in here tomorrow, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and not have a foot in the parking lot,
I'm like that
man.
kid that has to serve detention watching all the other kids leave. I'm going to be upset.
Hey, everybody, thanks for joining us here on ESPN and Action Sports Jax. That's Justin Coos. I'm Austin Lane. Thanks for hanging out. We'll check you guys out tomorrow.
From First Take to your radio.
Everybody is out because of the coronavirus. All the conditions that are restrictive to one is restrictive to all. And if somebody was smart enough to be dedicated during this time, more so than somebody else, those were probably going to be the champions any damn way. Get over